Welcome to Adrift in Aldhalor, our weekly actual play D&D show set in our homebrew world of Aradun. Our music is licensed through Musicbed.com, and I don't really use the ambience for this game, so I might stop talking about TabletopAudio and Syrinscape until I do. But if you are looking for ambience, sounds, and some music for your home games, they are excellent choices and have free options as well. Just a quick announcement before I turn things over to Stefan to talk about our partners. Shannon will be taking an early leave of maternity to get ready to welcome her new baby. So she's going to be taking a break for a while. So we're all very happy for her, and we'll miss her greatly and look forward to seeing her again with her new addition to her family sometime later this year. But she does say that she promises to come back. So we're excited for her. All right, Stefan, talk a little bit about our partners.
Who, me?
Yeah, you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Paradise wouldn't be Paradise without our partners. Partners like Underground Oracle Publishing. They are a TTRPG publisher creating new worlds in the Cypher system and beyond. Their current focus is Foxfire, a science fiction TTRPG with a strong emphasis on high adventure and fun. Full throttle action, where you, that's right, you, play as anthropomorphic animals who left Earth behind long ago to take their place amongst the stars. For as little as $3, you can become a member through their website and gain early access for this developing TTRPG and each of the worlds they create. Next up, we have Eddie Yorke. He is our character artist. You saw his character art on the getting ready screen, and you can see it in the corner everywhere. He's great. He's an illustrator based in the UK who makes art for games and books. To visit his portfolio and get in contact with him, visit eyorke.com. That's EYORKE.com. And then we've got 1985 Games. They create affordable, accessible, high-quality accessories for D&D and other tabletop role-playing games. Sean uses their NPC cards, and that's fun. If you use the code paradiceprod, that's PARADICEPROD, at checkout, you can get 10% off your entire order. Yay!
Yay.
And then we've got stuff like recaps and VODs in some shape or form. Mostly we've got the VODs up on YouTube.
Yes. And I will be taking over getting those updated for Shannon. So hopefully we'll be back up to date very soon.
All right, you heard it here first, folks. Sean promises, or else we all level up to 20 automatically.
What?
But you can also join Paradise on Bluesky, Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, Discord, Instagram, and TikTok. So do that, please.
Yeah.
We'd love to chat with you. Our Discord is a place.
It is. It's a little quiet these days, but we occasionally post in there. All right. Let's jump into a recap. Wow! All right. Last we left off, Iron and Mana had completed their mission in the Great North by defeating the Herald, as well as freeing Fyrn from his cursed mask. This ultimately, though, led to Fyrn's brother's death and a bit of sadness. In the process of their teleportation back to Septimus's farmstead, there was a little mishap where Bruce found himself sent beyond somewhere else, to a strange plane of existence covered in trash and detritus, seemingly from all over the cosmos. Littering this...
No, it wasn't New York City.
Don't talk during my recap. No, just kidding. He found it populated by strange scavenger-like creatures, but then also peculiar spherical flying entities that looked akin to Modron, that seemed to be searching for things and disintegrating them into some sort of cubic energy material. He also, though, found himself in some strange places here and unstuck from time in a peculiar way that really messed with his brain. Particularly when he found a journal that was his grandpa's, that came as a complete shock to him because his grandfather had gone missing many years past. And this was the first real clue he's ever gotten towards his grandfather's whereabouts or what happened to him. But as he continued to try to understand these things, he kept being haggard by these scavengers and Modron, and eventually even coming face to face with some of them. But even stranger was when he came face to face with a strange goat creature. Now, we've seen these creatures before in Paradise, but this was brand new for our friend Bruce. And the creature tried to communicate with him in a way, as Bruce tried to learn new things about this plane of existence, but everything seemed to be quite cryptic, and the creature eventually lost interest. But at this point, he found himself face to face with one of these strange Modrons, and he heard the voice of Lacuna in its mouth, the voice of the rogue machina that the party prevented from arriving on the material plane by destroying its Modron avatar. The entity still exists out there and is seemingly searching for different means of power, particularly to build an army of sorts. But eventually, Bruce was able to discern his way out using his cube gifted to him by his grandfather. The strange goat seer used time magic, it seems, to repair it for him, which allowed him to escape when things grew dire with Lacuna. Upon returning, Bruce was a different man, it seemed. To him, months had gone by, while the party literally had 6 seconds without him. He needed to ground himself by making sure things around him were real. But he did describe what he saw to them, and the party discerned that he most likely passed through some sort of part of the astral sea. A place that was particularly referred to as the Ether by the Goat Seer. Now, the party spent this time discerning the magical items that they had found during their time in the north, as well as catching up with Balfour. They learned that several people from Hyvin had stopped by the farm to check in on them while they were gone, and that Septimus's neighbors had been coming by to help repair the home. So the hole in the floor, the hole in the ceiling, the big gaping hole in the wall have all been repaired for the most part, at least as temporary solutions, so that the home is livable. Eventually, Sigil returns to speak with them as he promised. They learned a little bit more about what's going on in Hyvin, including certain rogue bands of adventurers, the different factions that have taken control of different parts of the districts, as well as some of the other goings-on there. He also showed them a map of the general region, which they haven't really seen before, and most of them are foreigners other than Bruce, so they got to see actually some of the other large land bodies of Aldhalor. But he showed you this, particularly as you asked about the Astral Sea and the Ether. He showed you a location known as the Triton Caldera, and talked about an ancient massive rift there that had invaders come through that sound like the scavengers Bruce encountered. You learned some more things about the Astral Sea, but really a lot about Sigil himself in this, that he seemed to give a little bit of his hand away while keeping some of it close to his chest, following through with promises that he made for the party, as well as telling them that there would be contracts available for them at the Admiralty Court. We ended the session with Bruce using the sending stone gifted to him by Sigil to ask him a question. Are you from the material plane? Which he responded with shaking his head no, and asking Bruce to keep that between them as he left the estate, the farm, not estate, farm. So that's where we left off. We left off with the party taking their long rest so they could level up. So if you haven't,
we'd already leveled up.
Oh, you're right, because this is.
We were at the farm for a few days.
We were at the farm for a few days because it took a couple days for Sigil to come back. So never mind. We ended there with Sigil walking out the door. So, Iron and Mana, you are all gathered in the living room of the farmhouse. Balfour has left. Sigil has left. It is just you all now in the comforts of Septimus's farm. Is there anything you'd like to do this evening before taking another long rest? I'll say it's pretty basically approaching dinner time.
How about that legalese thing that Bruce was, Fyrn was looking into? There were some infernal documents that he had previously began deciphering and did not proceed due to other complications, but found that, he's got some free time and, started looking into it a little bit more.
What you find in this, and I'll give you more specifics at a later date, but you've read enough of it to understand what this contract has in it, or at least what you can do with it. You have found, in essence, the true name of a devil on this document.
Ooh,
which
okay.
means that gains you certain abilities to interact with this devil. Particularly, you can summon it quite easily with the ability to question it and have a certain sway over it.
Do I get to name the devil, Sean?
Sure. If you wish, if you want to, you can name the devil with my veto rights to the name.
Damn
it. So, I'll give you more details and I'll turn it into an actual item that has like functions that you can utilize, like actions you can do with it. But it is a contract of devil's true name, for lack of a better way to put it, for now.
Awesome.
I think as Sigil is left, Jacquet gets up and kind of wanders over to the window to just kind of, pulls the curtain aside and just watches as he leaves. And then turning back to the rest of the party goes, so he's really weird, right? There's something about him that just, I can't place my finger on it.
Like what?
Just, I don't know, the way he talks about things and he seems far more knowledgeable about the outer realms than any person I've ever encountered.
I mean, he's got a whole library.
Sure, but there's an intimacy with how he talks about it. I mean, he's definitely warmed up to us. He's definitely shared much more information than when we first met, but there's a level of caution in everything he says, as if he's afraid to say something more.
I will say that the powers that he exhibited up in the north were unbelievable. I've never seen such a powerful spellcaster do things
Exactly.
that he's done.
Well, I guess better he's on our side than the others, so.
Quickly, just clarify it. Fyrn, your discovery of this, that you could summon a devil, do you keep it to yourself or tell the group?
I would openly be researching the document, but unless prompted, he would probably keep it to himself.
Okay.
I imagine Bruce would spend some time, he'd walk away from the group and everybody can hear it.
Hey, Bruce.
Hey. I mean, Bruce probably wouldn't do it. Bruce would probably just look at Jacquet and then just keep walking.
Thought we were gonna have a conversation, but okay.
What's up, Jacquet?
I was just trying to invite conversation about Sigil, and then I was gonna lead that into a what's next game.
Oh.
Like, I think it's pretty prudent that we discuss things, and maybe over dinner while Robespierre preps something for us.
Bruce, you know, he was walking into the living room. He had the radio in his hand, and then he just puts it on the coffee table over there, and then walks back in the kitchen. All right. What else? Anything else? I mean, do we want to have a discussion?
Am I annoying you? Am I bothering you, Bruce?
God.
Do you have better things to do? It's
No,
okay
but-
if you do. I'm learning to establish to recognize boundaries that others put up. So if you have something else you'd rather do, please go ahead.
No. This is important. In my head, what I experienced 3 days ago, everything just seems so trivial now. So.
Even, you know what? That's fair. I was gonna be like, oh, but everything in Hyvin. No, you were literally in the Astral Sea learning about potential end time crisis. So you know what? That's fair. I apologize for trying to make these trivial matters of note.
No. Yeah, I'm all ears. I'm here to discuss. So what do we want to do next? Do we want to go into Hyvin? But we're not wanted there. Or sorry, we are wanted there.
Well,
In a bad manner.
I mean, we could cut and run, but I don't know if that's best. Part of the issue with Hyvin is a little because of us, I think. You know, the Commodore put her trust in us, and we did mess it up a little bit. I don't trust her, to be clear, and I'm not sorry for what we did. But that power vacuum when we left, I think that's the result is now the mess we see in Hyvin. And instead of running, I think we should clean up that mess.
So you want to
However that
go
looks.
into Hyvin
Yes.
and try to compete with these factions?
Compete's a strong word. I think that we simply need to reassert our presence. Iron and Mana meant something for a couple of weeks in Hyvin. You know, Mr. Greaves has always been this shadow man. The Aradunai have always existed, but my understanding was they were outside the city instead of within.
I mean, I like where you're going with this. I think that, I mean, although this farm is peaceful, it's not really my speed, and I think we all kind of made Hyvin into our home over this past year or so. We've done things to improve it, but we've never really made a lasting difference, and if we plan to face more sinister powers, I think that having a secure homestead where we can fortify ourselves and, you know, build our strength as a group as well as a community we will need, structure. And Hyvin seems like the logical place for that.
So you bring up a good point of gathering a community. I think now that I think about it more, it's probably in our best interest to get our position back as positive influences on Hyvin where we were as Iron and Mana. If we have to broadcast a message about anything, some sort of whatever enemy that is against Hyvin, we'll need to have influence to round up the entire city to have any chance of defending it, instead of having all these split factions that divide it. So if we can unite it.
Exactly. And I'm not even talking about getting rid of the other factions. I mean, on their face, the Aradune aren't bad people. Misguided, yes. I don't know how they'll look to, how favorably they'll look at Septimus and Salvatore, but, they can still be allies. Mr. Greaves, I feel like that's an all or nothing. We're either with him or against him.
We're not even sure if Mr. Greaves is on this plane. Right?
Well, we know a figure claiming to be him
Correct.
is on this plane, though we learned from his gift to me that he's got some kind of fiendish connection, along with the eyes in black, or whatever I called it. The
Remember
Man.
that shadow? Yeah.
Shadow Man!
Fyrn pulls out a piece of paper from a long time ago that just has two eyes on it, like a scribble of blackness with two eyes, and slams it on the table. This guy?
Exactly, the one that intimidated Winifred. So, we know that the Lighthouse District is this area of conflict. And it seems like the factions are trying to assert their dominion there. To show, hey, look, we're the top dogs. So, I'm thinking, and this is also born from a conversation you had, Bruce, with the governor's man. Dumont.
Yeah.
Ducant.
Right? Ducant.
Emile Ducant.
Emile Ducant. You'd suggested Koboko reinvesting in the Lighthouse District. Well, we have, and Jacques holds up the sack of coin and gemstones, a lot of fucking money. We can do it ourselves. Or hire people to do it for us on our pay.
Well, we would, if in order to rebuild that area, we would, and I could get Koboko here. That money would help. We would need to make it safe, though. And how do we do that? We can hire mercenaries, I guess. But,
Sigil did mention
there's
that
only
there
5
are
of
other
us.
adventurers. Maybe we can recruit some of them to our side.
Well, we start small. I'm not talking about rehabilitating the entire district. We start with one building, and then we go to the next. And as we start to do that, we have people friendly to us, in league with us, coming in. We get some fighters, some rabble-rousers from those, and bring them to our cause. Like Fyrn's saying, those adventurers. We show them, hey, we're the top adventuring group here. Don't you want to work with us? Or even just flash some silver and say, hey, who wants to earn some coin?
I mean, do you want to bring in or do you want to develop not an arena, but essentially a place to fight for a fight night? And then bring in a bunch of fighters? And then have them be
Oh.
our mercenaries?
I mean,
I've tried
if
to
Fyrn wants to.
recruit. I've tried to recruit some of the other fighters from Fight Night, and they seemed that they were a little bit hesitant. You know, at that time, Greaves had his hands on the Widow's Ward, and was, you know, basically forcing them to maintain the status quo. But I think that you make a good point that once we have an established power and we can show the people that we have strength and we are a recognized, you know, force, then the people will come to our side and realize how much good we can do for their city.
I mean, hell, if we start creating say a keep in the lighthouse district, you know, maybe mechanically that means we'll acquire at least one unit of fighters. I don't know, just spitballing here.
What?
Septimus has been quiet and kind of just like zoning out, contemplating. His mind wrapped around the thought of Lacuna, who he thought was kind of gone, but just hearing his voice again, reminding him that he's back. My biggest concern is the storm that is coming. At least for me, is Lacuna. There's other powerful beings on different planes that want to enter the material realm. So, you're all right. We need to make Hyvin get it back to where it was before, to settle the squabbling that is there, so that we can have a foothold against the bigger fight that is to come. If
Exactly.
there's a way I could reach out before we leave, Bruce, I was going to ask you if you can send a message to me to reach out to Hal in the city. The Lighthouse District would be a great place to start, to build upon, to have a foundation, to have a stronghold. But the first place we could start is the temple that I had secured. We have possibly some allies that'd be able to take us in before we outwardly announce ourselves. So I'm sure once we do, everybody of those who are in power and want to stay in power would immediately try to get rid of us.
All right. What would you like me to say to Hal?
Tell him when we last parted, I didn't quite get to say goodbye, and that he might think me dead, all of us, since we had to flee the city last. But that we are alive, and we are well, and that we plan to come back to Hyvin, and to tell us if he's been able to spread the word of Machina's whispers.
So I only get 25 words. I'll
Apologies. I thought
I'll
you had
quick
more
price
with your. I thought you had more with your pipe. I apologize.
That's all right.
Say,
He's no Twilight cleric.
I'm setting plus.
Hal, it's Bruce. Iron Amana lives.
You could save a word by
We-
just saying "we live."
No, Iron Amana lives.
Okay, good.
We back, baby.
How many was that? 7?
Mhm.
We are coming back to Hyvin soon. Please tell us of what you have accomplished.
Thanks. Do you want to just say that?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay. You would get a response. It's good to hear from you,
I've put Septimus's silver to good use. We've done some repairs on the broken temple. The place seems blessed. And from donations from a few of the followers that we've been able to gather, we've done some other renovations. But it's no temple yet, one could say. We're doing well. We're spreading the word. We've had some scraps with the Ardunai. But I'm hopeful. And you can tell Septimus that I've been staying clean and pure.
I relay all of that.
It's good to hear. Sounds like we could find some sanctuary there, which I recommend. Looking to Jaquette, as I know you'd want to stay in one of the finer establishments. My fear is that once we are seen, things will immediately get rough. We should...
I don't disagree. But... Well, I guess we could all disguise ourselves. We'd still have to cross the entirety of Hyvin to get to the Temple District. Then we would put Hal and any others at risk as well.
Well, eventually I'm going to get the teleportation sigils from Sigil. And once there, we can go to and from Septimus's house to Hyvin.
He said he was going to send you the sigils.
Yeah.
No, he said that once you're in Hyvin to come to the library,
Okay.
he'll show you the sigils.
Never mind.
I was about to
He's
say
not
that.
sending me
How's he doing
anything.
that?
So it looks like we got to travel there first. Yeah, I'm gonna need a means of disguising myself.
Well, lucky for you, you're with a tabaxi of many talents, one of which being disguise kits. So I've done it before, I can do it again. Looking over at Sal, he's always a bit of an issue, but I think I pulled it off fairly well last time. The wig was a bit much. I think just a cloak with a heavy hood will do.
Yeah.
So is that how we want to operate? Do we want to go in incognito, see what's going on at Septimus's temple, and then
Now,
what?
I think people will most likely identify us if we're traveling together. I normally wouldn't recommend this, but I'm almost thinking that if we do venture outside of the Temple District, we do it individually.
Sure.
An argument could be made otherwise.
I'm not arguing. My
Yeah.
question isn't about that. It's about, okay, so we're in the Temple District. What's the plan from there?
Well, separating might be the best next step. I was about to suggest that each one of us goes to a designated district and spend some time there, hear rumors, hears who's in power, who the people are afraid of, where are their weaknesses potentially, where we could strike. Just to get some more intel of what's been happening there for the past few months or month.
Fair.
Your contact, don't you have somebody that lives in the city? Is there a way we can rendezvous with them? Get their word? Yeah, you.
I mean, who don't I know in Hyvin? But I assume you're talking about Reardon.
Yes.
Yes, our friend from Billowgrass. I mean, ostensibly, he still works for me. I paid him a decent advance before we left, though I think I'm overdue on that. Actually, no, I think I paid him 20 gold, so he's pretty set.
Would
So,
What about the De Leon brothers?
well, Sigil said they've been gone to ground. I could reach out to them. They would be a easy target to sell some of our used magic items to. But I think with a little more effort and work, I could probably get a better price for them around the city.
I'm opposed to working with those people again. I don't think that they're right for us. I think that, you know, we've already made bad blood, and although they say that there is no, you know, harm done and that they'll continue to work with us, it just doesn't sit right with me. I feel like they're just gonna betray us again, or, you know, they just can't be trusted. They might not just be in it for the money, is what I'm trying to say.
That's fair. I don't necessarily disagree with Fyrn on this one. They could be good information, useful for information, but in terms of allies, I am also hesitant. Though Septimus was only speaking of gathering information, so
Right.
to that end,
that's what I was thinking as well. Yeah, so we can each take a district. I do need to spend some time at the academy for a little bit.
well, you should be safe there.
Yeah.
If we plan on securing a location, do we plan on all staying at the? If we don't plan on staying at the Temple District, where else can we go? I mean, I know we have friends, but friends that we could rely on to keep us hidden, those are hard to come by. That's asking a lot, especially if we want to have an extended stay there.
Well, if you give me some time in the library, I can get the sigils for the teleportation circle. We can travel back here.
Right, but that's not solving our issue. Our issue, I don't want to be hiding in Hyvin. I understand going there incognito now, but the longer we put off a confrontation, the harder it's going to be, or the longer it's going to be to do anything.
Why?
Agreed. But that's why I say we initially need to find out who's the ruling factions, and when we strike, we should target the weakest one first.
Fair.
Oh, I was
But
talking
our-
about our safety at sleeping at night, but I mean, we could, and ease of travel. That's all.
Tactically,
I don't think that it's that dangerous in Hyvin. It's not safe, but I don't think that we're going to be jumped in our beds.
yeah, especially
Maybe,
considering
but if
the
we
chaos
stay
that
Sorry,
they
what was that?
speak of. I mean, the chaos that they speak of. You know, Sigil mentioned that these factions have gotten more aggressive. They might not have time to worry about people like us until it'll give us time to gather our strength, at least. If there's no patrols, if there's no defense in some of the shadier neighborhoods.
And I think one of the safest places would even be the Admiralty Court, given that the Commodore still controls us. Does she like us? No, but she's not going to kill us, or have us killed.
I would disagree. I mean, I wouldn't put it past her to jail us, you know, if they could.
You think a jail can hold any of us?
Depends on the jail, I suppose.
He's right about that one. All right. So our approach is you disguise us. We start at the Temple District, and then we all spread from there. Gather information, regroup, and keep doing it until we have a good understanding of what's happening, and
But
then we decide our next course of action.
But I thought Sigil did a good job explaining what's going on.
He did, but we need more information. Is that not right?
What more information do we need?
What do you propose then?
What do I propose?
Yes.
I propose we go in and say, Iron and Mana is back, motherfuckers. And see what happens. But in all fairness, a little bit of that, but also, we have friends in Hyvin. If we're not talking to them, we can't get them on our side. If there are other adventuring groups that actually believe in the safety of Hyvin, how are we going to bring them to our side? We need to be a rallying cry to the people of Hyvin. We can't be hiding, which I know is a little ironic given how I generally conduct myself. At least sometimes. You know, it's like the duality of Jacquet. Sometimes he's loud and boisterous, other times he's cool and sneaky. How's he gonna be today? I don't know. Find out.
Like a moody parent coming back from work. Anyway.
By the crescent heart.
Did that strike hard, Jacquet?
I was just ignored usually, so.
All right. Do we want to go to a tavern? Have you just...
Well, I think that maybe, at least for the first day or two, we should let rumors build. You know, not be that boisterous. Although, fun, and I think you should probably make a big entrance to announce ourselves. Maybe the first couple of days when we're establishing our roots, you know, for a couple of days in the academy, a couple of days in the Temple District, to gather supplies and, you know, just scout the area and gauge the threat levels before announcing.
As you're saying that, this is the first time in a while that I've not had a DM NPC to interrupt you guys with anything.
Yeah,
and it's suddenly, and I'm realizing how much of a privilege it is to have a DM NPC to be like, well, so I'm going to use sass while I still can.
Mouthpiece of reason.
So sass is been quiet since you've returned. Other than her initial conversations with you all when Bruce came back, she's kind of had a 1,000-yard stare off into the distance as she's been sort of like fidgeting with the mariner's armor Ro gave her. But she just sort of like in an absent stare as she's kind of biting a nail, just says, just want to throw another wrench into it, but we could do both. Jacquet can showcase himself at the Harlequin and Chalice, declare Iron and Mana returned, while the rest of you are hiding. And then we slowly do both of them. We have our forward operation and our behind the scenes operation. That makes sense.
Yeah, actually, it does.
Saskia is the voice of reason.
Saskia immediately smiles, a really half-hearted smile, like she got no satisfaction out of that, and just walks out of the room.
Oh, okay, bye. We're having a conversation, but that's fine.
That's the one time I'll use sass until she gets back.
Yeah.
Okay.
How could you announce? But that's the thing. If you announce just yourself while we're hiding, that's not really an entrance to us coming back.
No, I mean,
Shouting from the other
You're all
room.
right about
Mr. Greaves can announce himself whenever he wants. Doesn't have to show up. Power can come from all sorts of things. Shadows. Blah, blah, blah. Oh, I don't know
But
what I'm talking
that's not-
about. And runs
yeah.
away.
Septimus is nervously saying that because
Yeah.
he'll just be like, just the last time hubris got the better of me, I nearly died. And I'm afraid of making that same mistake again. But we've come a long way. If we're going to be reappearing and making our entrance, maybe it is best we show that we don't have fear.
Right, Septimus, I'm sorry. I try to block out bad things that happen to me and the people I know because it helps me move on and not be hindered by the past. I did forget that last time I wanted to make a big statement, it got you killed. So I'm apologizing for forgetting that. But... And he just stands there with his hands wide. You know, you're stronger now.
Perhaps. But more importantly, if I ever want to see my vision of the spread of good word of Machina, then I need to be a leader. So, I'm with you, Jaquette. We could do it your way.
You know, and like you guys said, we take a day or two to suss out the land. But you can't keep a bird caged. Jaquette's gotta sing. Well, not really sing, but, you know, do that thing I do on stage. It's kind of like a stand-up act, but not really.
Yeah, we'll let you out of the cage. You can fly.
I think this is good.
All right. So, should we get our things ready? Leave
One
in the
last
morning?
thing. If we plan on, taking different districts and investing, ourselves, should we maybe think of, legally acquiring territory? I mean, I don't know how that works, but I know that there was that one man who
Emile
talking,
Ducant.
Emile,
Ducant.
yes,
Yeah.
he was
yeah.
talking to us about the lighthouse district.
I'll worry about that portion, Fyrn.
Yeah, I
I'll
suppose
take care
we
of that.
should speak with him quickly as well. Very well then.
All right. When is your planned departure?
Tomorrow morning?
Now,
Tomorrow morning.
The following day.
The carriage and horses are still at the homestead.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
And I think that would actually make it easier for us to disguise ourselves.
very much so.
Just draw the curtains, and whoever's riding,
Hmm.
or which.
It's true. You're having the carriage is a big help for getting in unnoticed. Because you can really go between all of the districts and just in the carriage.
Right.
Okay. You plan to leave in the morning. You all may settle in for your long rest. All right. Well, nothing happens in the evening. You all may take your long rest. If there's anything anyone would like to have done in the evening, they can do so. But I think for the most part, y'all are probably eager to move onward. But unless you have something.
No,
Just
changing spells around and that jargon that I'll take care of.
No problem.
with Jaquette's poisoner feat, we had
Mhm.
talked about potentially enhancing the poisons that I had purchased previously, basically just to raise their DCs in tandem with the poisons that I can make. Would you want me? How would you want to go about that? is that something I can do now, or should I, do I need special reagents from the city?
I would say for the purposes of enhancements, I would say you need reagents that you would not have immediate access to through because you don't have like herbalism proficiency or anything like that to like harvest them yourself.
Right.
So I think you would just need to get a I think because since we're kind of homebrewing this, what I'm gonna say is that there's what we'll call an advanced poisoner's kit that you can purchase that will just make some quick rules for and how they affect the ability to upgrade poisons.
Okay. Sounds good.
But you can also remind me if there's anything we've talked about previously on this that I do not remember. I remember this conversation, but I don't know if we came to any conclusions for it.
We did not. It was just hey, is this something that we can do? And you're like, yeah. And I was like, cool. And then months passed.
And now we're finally in a situation where it can actually be done.
Yeah. Okay,
Classic.
cool.
Yeah. Yeah, just for the sake of simplicity, I feel like it's helpful to just like create something that makes it streamlined. Alrighty.
Bruce, Sean, there's just one thing, and I probably should have talked to you about this before the session, but I am using the Unearthed Arcana.
The Artificer?
Yes, and in there, I can add any uncommon wondrous item. Now, one of the wondrous items, I'm going to, I wanted to assign when I leveled up, two different ones. One because I had a blank slot, and then another because I got to replace them when I level up. One of them is the Spell Wrought Tattoo.
Which feature is this?
It's the whenever
of the Artificer. I'm just trying to have it in front of me.
Yeah. It's learning items or magical tinkering, not magical tinkering. Replicate magic item.
Replicate magic item. I don't know why I said it that way.
Yeah, and then so plus 10 artificer level is magic item plan, and then it says uncommon ring or wondrous item. Uncommon. Anything that isn't cursed.
Shoot. I'm sorry, I'm just looking for it real quick.
Yep.
I just want to see it. You said it's under magical tinkering.
Replace replicate magic item.
Oh, just found it. Thank you.
Yeah. And then under the tables, there's a artificer level plus 10. And then under there, it says magic item plan, and then it says uncommon ring or wondrous item, which should be any.
All right. So I guess the question is.
So Spell Wrought Tattoo is technically a wondrous item. And now for flavor, I wouldn't do a tattoo, but but would you allow me to make, since it's uncommon, a one-time use third level spell, essentially, because uncommon Spell Wrought Tattoo is second and third level.
Yeah. So I mean the language is sort of reads for itself here.
Right.
When you die. I don't see a reason why not. It says uncommon wondrous item, so why not? This actually fits in with my own lore of artificers in this world, where they do create these tattoos often. So
cool.
I am totally fine with it.
Perfect. All right, just letting you know that that's one of the things I'm taking. And
what spell are you picking?
I want to take one more look. I want to take one more look.
Okay.
But that, and then there's a different item called like the soothing stone that I'm also gonna learn.
Okay.
So just letting you know that I'm taking those because I can't assign them to my sheet, so they are.
Because you could basically it's just you select the random. All right. Yeah.
Right.
All right.
Yeah.
Soothing
So,
stone. You said.
Yeah, it's one that I can replicate. I can, as long as I have the stone on me, I can remember a certain feeling, and then I can also break a fear or charmed effect on as a bonus action, I believe.
It's called Soothing Stone. Can I find it?
Hold on. I'll send it to you in a little bit.
Just
You
send me a link.
continue-
Yeah.
You continue on your merry way. I'm just letting you know I'm taking it.
Okay. All right. No problem. All right. Anything else anyone wants to do this evening before our characters pass out?
I think we're good.
All right. You all find a moment to rest for the evening. Or really a full long rest. 8 hours. Sleeping nice and in beds for the second night in a row. The kinks in your back are slowly soothing themselves from sleeping out in the wild. Well, really, you guys were sleeping in a tower, so. But you all wake up the next morning. And can get ready to leave for the day. You can all stock up in Jacquette's carriage with Maps and Brown. Your
Jaquette's carriage.
what did I say?
You
Oh.
said Jaquette's carriage.
Yeah.
It's all of our carriage, no?
No,
Well-
Jacquette paid for it.
With money he earned from our labor.
Oh, okay. There we go.
Fair.
Well, as the CEO of Iron Man,
He did get his appropriate portion of that money, as you all did, and spent the fruits of his labor. You can hop in, and who is driving?
Me.
Yes, because Septimus is the only one proficient in land vehicles.
Ian has driven before.
Yeah, I remember when you drove. You almost lost the horses. All right.
Septimus is just drifting into Hyvin.
All right, let's see what the weather's like today. All right, we're looking at a
Funny.
clear day.
Yeah,
It's a little foggy, a little chilly, but nothing compared to the negative odons you were dealing with in the north. We got highs of 34 odons with lows of 24 odons, maybe some light snowfall in the later afternoon, and a light wind for today. So, good day to get out there, do some cleaning up of your yard, get ready for the spring season. No. It's a temperate day with a little bit of snowfall and fog, but mostly clear. And you'll notice there's like a disparate sheet of snow over everything, but Ezja is in a much more temperate climate, so the snow is this is probably the most snow Ezja will get all winter, is during this month as the coldest month of the year. Never really more than a couple inches. It's more likely to be cold rains in Ezja than it is to be snow. But you can embark. There's plenty of food in the storage of Septimus's house for the horses that seems to have been donated by his neighbors while Balfour was taking care of them. And you can embark for the day. It's again, despite the chaos that might be hitting Hyvin, this first day you're still just kind of on the open road, so there's not really any danger that you can really think of, or at least nothing that would be too tough for Iron and Mana to just flick their wrists, and you don't notice any demon incursions. In fact, it's pretty dead out. You don't see any other travelers passing. If there's any cottages out on the countryside and the sides of the road, no one's outside. There's just smoke stacks coming from their chimneys. As this is the month that most people don't really do much but try to survive for the month. Especially those who live out in the country. Hope their stores last for another month until everything starts to warm up, and then start prepping their fields for the new year, when everything will begin to be sown for the new season. If anything, the most dangerous things might be elemental incursions. Septimus, you're aware that like occasionally in the winters here, frost elementals can get a little rowdy and can find their way into the material plane or from the spiritual essences around. But it actually, everything feels quite calm this day. Until you find yourselves approaching Fairhold as the sun is about to set. And you can Bruce's Tower here or set up a camp. Fairhold itself is rather dead. Like they have tarps over the stage that's usually there. There's only one food stand that is kind of just because this guy lives here. And he doesn't really have much food out. He's just kind of like hanging out in case there's a traveler that day. But generally speaking, it's pretty dead. So you can rest up in Bruce's Tower for the evening, if you so wish.
Sounds good
I
to
don't
me.
see any reason not to.
Yep. The for the most part, the trees all around are barren except for a few evergreens. The great oak in the center is actually holding a lot of its leaves. But again, quiet, grim, a little cold, blue atmosphere. But you can rest for the evening. Jacques, you look like you've got...
Whose food shop is open?
Whose food shop is open? Well, you would imagine in this cold temperature that the drow are the perfect fit, given they come from the mountains. So it is, in fact, Brizza, the cook.
Yeah. Jacques definitely comes over and orders one of his cuts with that Avenirian spice that he so loved.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Brizza is, despite being a drow, still bundled up, and notices you come up and is just very, does recognize you, of course, and he does kind of like look at you for a second and like raise an eyebrow, like, is that who I think it is? As he's like,
Jacques doesn't do anything crazy. He's just like, Brizza, right?
and he takes out of his mouth, like he has a pipe that he was smoking, but it's clearly like not burning anymore. He was just almost chewing on the wood. He takes it out and looks at you. And goes, yeah.
You're the butcher, and you've got the Avenirian. Is that it? Avenirian spices?
Yeah.
I dream about that cut of meat. Oh, ever since I had it, this was months ago. I don't know if you recall, but I would pay handsomely for a nice cut of whatever your best cut is with some of those spices on it.
All right. I've got a little bit of beef here. Pork. Some chicken. But yeah, whatever you want. Yeah. Hard times, so it's gonna be a little pricey.
Oh, of course, I understand, my friend. Whatever the price, enough for me and my companions, he says, gesturing to the carriage as Bruce's tower, I imagine, just appears into
And he does
being.
kind of like shake his head, like, did I see that properly? Yeah, all right. Oh, okay. All right. Well, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I can get 5 cuts.
for you. It'll be 50 silver.
50 silver it is. Is gold okay?
Gold. Yeah. Sure. I got
Yeah,
change.
so Jacques takes out 2 gold, 10 silver, and
Okay.
hands it over.
And like, it's not that people don't see gold. It's just like gold is like if someone hands you like a $50 bill or a $100 bill. So they're just
Right.
like, oh yeah, bites onto it because he thinks that's what he's supposed to do. Why
Why are you biting it?
I don't know. I heard about it. It'll be ready in 15 minutes.
I appreciate you, friend, as Jacques wanders off.
As he immediately begins to stoke the fire to get it going to actually be able to grill the meat.
Walking back and really saying to no one in general, Jacques just puts his hand on his hips, has this big smile on his face. He's like, I'm helping the local economy.
As he's just like standing in front of that oak tree that's in the middle that's really majestic. And I imagine like your friends are literally like 10 feet away, just sitting in front of the tower being like, what the fuck is he doing? All right, but 15 or 20 minutes go by, and Bruza does come over with a few wooden plates and some utensils with 5 cuts of nice cuts of beef with Avenirian seasoning on it. If you all remember, this Avenirian seasoning has like a really deep umami flavor with a little like electricity to it in the mouth that's like eating Szechuan peppercorns, where you get a little tingly in the mouth when you eat it.
Oh.
And each of them comes with a very small side of rice. All right. Well,
Cool.
enjoy the feasting of returning to civilization. And the next morning, you wake up, and we have a very similar day. Although there's a wider range between the highs and lows, so when it gets dark today, it's going to feel a little colder. We're going down into the teens at 19 degrees, Odons, if you will. But highs at 36. Wind get a little bit stronger, but not anything game-changing. And no snow flurries today, just a clear sky. Today over sunny Hyvin. As Bruce hears on his radio. Coming from like just a devil that lives in Hyvin. Who also has one of these. But anyway, you start the day's travel, and you'll get there a little bit before sunset, since you're going a little more efficiently with the carriage. So it'll still be daytime when you get to Hyvin. You'll probably get there around 2:30 in the afternoon.
Wow.
All right.
Sounds good.
As you approach Hyvin, the journey is light. There's not a lot of bumps in the road, although it is a little tough if there hasn't been some travel in a few days, or a lot of travel. If it snowed, there's a little bit of accumulation. The roads are very muddy, so occasionally Fyrn might have to hop out of the carriage and push it out of a rut, but generally not too bad. When you approach Hyvin itself, you see the familiar sights. You see the ruined wall that is the exterior of Hyvin. With its 5 different points. Now that I've drawn the map, it's 5 different sections with the different small to large entrances to Hyvin. You all know that the ruined gatehouse is the main entrance that goes to the old gate road. The other entrances sort of are like back alley entrances. You can see the smokestacks of the many neighborhoods of Hyvin. There's sort of a smell of smoke in the air from these smokestacks, mingled with sort of the first time in a while you've hit with the strong smell of the sea coming up
from the beaches below. And you would notice that the gatehouse, which is usually completely open, just walk in, walk out, walk in, walk out, has built-in wooden walls into it. Yes.
So before we'd reached Hyvin, Jacques would have gotten out, joined Septimus up to ride shotgun, and then he would have cast disguise self on himself when we got within view of the city.
Cool.
Or, within like 15 minutes of the city, and then just thrown up a simple disguise over Septimus, making sure that, his robotics aren't easily seen and his face is fairly obscured. Yeah. Reminding those, remember, you in the back, all of you, keep the curtains drawn. Let's try to make it to the Temple District without being noticed. Yeah?
All right.
Septimus just nods his head.
I took off my half plate, and I put on my chainmail or chain shirt.
Okay.
So I now have advantage on sneaking if needed.
There you go. And Septimus, this is like a moment for you where you also like look down at your hands after he cast this spell to see like your human flesh hand again. What was once your mechanical, the portion of your torso that became mechanical when you infused the lighthouse with the magic of machina, is a reminder that you are more machine than you were when you left here.
Good.
But you look at disgust at these human illusions. Anyway, as the two of you would be the ones who could see that there are these boarded up holes. It seems as though, regardless of, it doesn't appear as though the other portions of the wall are boarded up as tightly. The main entrance to Hyvin is completely boarded up with wooden doors. It's not like a palisade wall or anything reinforced. It's literally like the entrance to Bree in the Fellowship of the Ring, where it's just like a really flat big wall with a single door and then a double door.
So is like the southern entrance open?
So those entrances are open, but they are too tight and packed for carriages to get through.
Okay.
Can they open up at all, or is it just like full wood, like that you can't get a carriage?
No, they open up. There's like literally there's double doors large enough for a carriage to come through, and then within one of the doors is a smaller door for a guard to walk out to look. It's clearly, you might surmise that this isn't exactly like the Commodore reinforcing Hyvin. This is probably a local faction trying to strong arm travelers into paying a toll to get into Hyvin with a carriage.
So Jacques has disguised himself as the high elf, the Gwen elf, that he's used previously.
What did you disguise me as?
A disgusting, rancid little rat man.
It's a Finch.
No, it's Septimus as nondescript, vanilla human male as possible.
Milk toast, white man.
Yes,
exactly.
Yes, peasant coded.
There's a small air of to his dress, that says like, I have some money, but clearly these clothes I did not purchase these. They were given to me as I am the help. As Jacques looks like he is not the help. He is who's helping the help.
All right. So, as you approach, you would notice that there are these swinging wooden boards at the top of the wall. So there's evidently some kind of like platform behind it. You can imagine there might be like a few of these gang members with crossbows or whatever weaponry they have. You would see, though, there is an actual person outside of the walls who is digging out like digging out the snow from the front of this little area, while another individual sits on top of the wall, dangling their legs. The person below looks as though it's human or a half elf, just from their shape and size. The person sitting up on the walls appears to be a gnome, watching this person dig out the snow. And you don't know how many people are behind the actual wall. But you would here, as you get closer and closer, you would see the gnome sort of like slap the wall a little bit, probably indicating to people inside that somebody is approaching. And the man digging out the gate itself sort of stops the work and just stands there holding the rake and shovels that he's using, holding the shovel he's using on one hand, just sort of leaning on it, looking at you all with a big smile on his face.
As we draw up, Jacques raises a hand and goes, "Ho the gate! Greetings, friends!"
You see the man below just sort of smiles at you with a toothy grin. He's missing some teeth. He's fairly bruised, like he gets into a lot of squabbles and fights. He has receding hairline, but it's all kind of like this bright blonde color. He has very simple leather armor on. He does have a scimitar at his waist, and there is a spear leaning up against the wall that's within arm reach of him. And then the gnome standing up at the top, he's wearing kind of like a tunic robe that's sort of red in color with a big belt on it. And he has these leather gauntlets on that go all the way up his arm and are kind of scaled, or not scaled, they're overlapping hinges of leather that kind of go up that sort of look like scales. He has gray hair held back in a man bun, and he has sort of like the tunic he has kind of, the collar comes up high and almost covers the bottom of his face a little bit. But the gnome is the one who responds to you as he gestures his hand in a very like fantastical way, as Jacquette's familiar with sort of him casting some prestidigitation, it looks like, or thaumaturgy, to just sort of like create sort of some lights in the air as a little bit of a welcome greeting. As the gnome just goes, welcome to the Jewel of Asia, Hyvin City, center of any and all importance in all of Asia. Forget Asia City, nothing happens there but a crotchety old Commodore hiding with the tail between her legs. Were you trying to get in with a wagon? You're gonna have to pay the toll to get in.
No, sorry, this is a carriage, as you can see. A wagon carriage.
Wagon, carriage, four-wheeled, many-wheeled, wide as shit. It's gonna require a toll.
Apologies. Last time I was here, there was no toll required. And Jacques hits the carriage to say, like, hey, leave the talking to me.
Well, you haven't been in Hyvin in a little while, it seems. And things are a little different now. It's the gloaming, as you can see around. Times are tight. We have to make it through the winter. And part of that is controlling who comes in and out of Hyvin. You understand?
Of course.
A real toothy grin that you can see above the little collar. You can see the corners of his grin.
And I assume you're not working for the Commodore. Who is it that you then represent, my good man?
Who do we represent?
We ourselves are hirelings employed by the and he does his hands again to use prestidigitation or thaumaturgy, whatever it is, to create this sort of little light show of little swirls of magic. He's actually probably using a minor illusion here, more so than that. But we are the as we like to call ourselves, the Chroma Fists. We are the protectors. We are those who keep the barbarians at bay for the ascendancy of Horadun.
Oh, you work for the Aradunai.
Today.
Well, your employers are actually who we're here to see. You see, I am a magic item procurer, and I have a shipment here for, what's her name? Fiora, I believe. Are you familiar?
And he leaps down, and you can see he sort of like slowly feather falls to the ground. As you can see, these
Wow,
sort of
using
little...
up a lot of those spell slots.
No, this time you actually see he uses
I'm
a...
joking,
actually,
I'm joking.
you would actually see that it's the boots he has on that allow him to descend down. As he comes forward and sort of looks at your horses, who look well fed, like that of a rich man. You look very good to him in that sense. So give me a persuasion roll.
Do I get advantage because you like me?
You get advantage because none of us talked.
No, you don't get advantage because there's a specific reason why you're not getting advantage.
Yeah, that's fair. Because she's not in charge anymore. That's a 22.
22, okay. He looks at you, and he's... You're Bendega. You have a shipment for Fiora Bendega. When was the last time you were in Hyvin?
It's been months now. Months. My journeys took me far and wide across Asia, all the way up to the Alto Alps.
Ah. Alto Alps. All the way up there. Well, I've got some news for you. And I don't know if you've spoken to Fiora Bendega since you left. But she's not really in charge anymore. She is not a standing member of the Ascendancy anymore. In fact, good sir, there is a bounty out on her head.
Oh.
You said
Well,
shipment in there, right?
I do have some items of interest. However, if she's gone, I'm sure your new friends in charge of the Ascendancy would be more than happy to see these goods.
You may be right, but orders are orders. Unless you want to walk those goods in through the alleys where someone might be there with a knife. You just pay the toll. We'll let you in. It's measly for a man like you, I'm sure, as he kind of just gestures to your attire.
You notice that the area around the cart has just like lowered a couple of degrees.
And Jacquet is going to wrap. I forget what we agreed originally on the silent alarm. He's just gonna rap gently twice on the hood of the carriage and hope that maybe Fyrn will understand where he's going with this, as he then continues to say loudly, like, when I was last in Hyvin, this isn't how things were run. You know, quite frankly, if this is how your Ascendancy does things, maybe we'll take our goods elsewhere.
So you hear actually from like the ramparts, or ramparts is a strong word. The really tiny platform these people are all behind up there. Like the scaffolding is a better way to put it. Like this place, like Fyrn could knock this
this wall down, most likely.
Yeah.
You do hear like the movement of the like boards that open up to shoot from, and you just sort of see like a crossbow hang out, and a voice just say, "Ah, Giz, why are you talking to these fucks? They're not paying the toll. Turn them away." And he goes, "Where are you gonna take these things, man? You gonna travel all the way to Azure City? You gonna travel to the other provinces? Oh, Hyven's the place, baby. You want in."
Hyvin was the place, but seeing your ilk here, I think we're better off taking the road than deal with you.
Is business your business? Whatever's. All right.
Fyrn's like leaning over to Bruce, and he's like, "Did I hear deal with him? Does he want me to deal with him?"
Let him say a little bit louder before.
And this guy turns around and just starts walking away from you.
Well then, maybe we'll just deal with this roadblock. And with your blessing, Sean, maybe we can roll some initiative and start a fun little combat.
Yeah, absolutely. If it's going the direction I think it's going in.
Did we get a surprise attack?
Yeah. Does that say what? Yeah, that was it.
Well, what did you ask if you guys get?
Like
Yeah,
a
so
surprise
you guys are
round, if we
basically
just, like,
ambushing
pop
them.
out.
You
Yeah.
two are you three. No, you two. Well, Sass is
I
still
was four.
Yeah, yeah. There's those who are not evidently in the eyes of the enemies will be able to have not have the surprise condition.
I'm gonna lean over to Fyrn and be like, "Hold a second."
And obviously Septimus and Jacques, you could be a part of that too because they just see you as unarmed wagon drivers.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's roll initiative then.
Cool.
Actually, we're gonna take a quick break and then we're gonna roll initiative.
Okay.
Well, okay, cool. I'll reroll them.
No.
Well, if you... Well, let's go to break and I'll explain to everyone again how surprise works.
Yes. All right, folks, we'll be back shortly with a little bit of a skirmish at the gates of Hyvin. See you soon. All right, we are back, everybody, with a skirmish at the gates of Hyvin. Our heroes were denied entry because they did not wish to pay the toll to the Aradunai's hounds. So a surprise has occurred. Let me roll initiative. I already did, actually.
So we roll initiative with advantage?
No,
No.
they roll
No.
with disadvantage.
We roll with
Oh,
disadvantage.
okay.
Where is the initiative? There it is. I'll roll these guys. Where'd the stat block go? There it is. And then last. Okay. That is low. Okay. All right. 20 to 25.
Mm-hmm.
15 to 19.
16.
15.
Bruce also got 15.
Yeah.
All right. So Bruce and Jacques, you're interchangeable.
Again. So exciting.
10 to 14. 10 to 14. Septimus, what'd you get?
What'd you
7.
Okay. And
Saskia is asleep.
well, it's her. She hasn't left yet, so you can use Saskia in this.
go?
What do you mean, yes?
18 plus her thing. 20.
20. Hey, Saskia's up first.
Classic Sass.
All right, so it's Sass, Fyrn, Bruce Jacquet, the baddies, and then Septimus.
Did you just have the same thought as me?
I don't know. Maybe not. I was just laughing that you have such low initiative.
Oh, okay, then never mind.
Anyway,
You said the baddies were up first, and I was.
see, I suspected that you might have thought that. All right, Stefan, do you want to control Saskia?
Sure.
Okay.
Saskia is gonna kick open the carriage door and be like, "What's back, bitches?" Except for not really.
That was a good Sass impression, though.
Thank you. And so there's two guys outside the gate, and then
Two guys.
there's
You can't see all of them up there. So there's two guys outside the gate. You can see one person leaning out of the one of the murder holes of the gate house. We'll call them for now, which is just these, large wooden planks that they can push open.
right.
He has half cover right now because he's kind of leaning out of it.
Well, Saskia is just gonna open up in classic fashion with Eldritch Blast action. Bonus action, she's gonna direct 3 at the gnome and then 3 at the other guy.
Ooh, okay.
So I'm just gonna roll the first 3.
This is against the gnome.
Yep. For what's her +9? So 20, 21, and 11.
The 11 misses, but the others hit.
All right. So I'll just do all this together. 8 plus 10, 18 force damage against the gnome.
Okay. You hear some commotion behind the wall as the gnome gets struck with this eldritch blast, and he kind of tumbles forward and then turns around, and you can see he does grin a little bit, It was boring today. I was looking for a fight. The guy who was digging out the front is clearly like a minion, so he's just like, oh, shit, as he like scrambles for his spear.
All right, cool. So that's gonna be a 14, a 22, and then a nat 20 on the quote minion.
All of those will hit. It's a so I don't even need to roll.
Yep.
It's if you want, you can. Well, no, I ruled that Eldritch Blast has to all be dictated before you roll. So yeah. So you just fucking mangle this guy. It just comes through, and I imagine. Actually, what does it look like when Sass just takes out this minion with 3 Eldritch Blasts?
Yeah, so, she, walks out, kicks open the door, does not say we're back, bitches, but I want her to. And she's already got, the 3 Eldritch Blasts are, swirling around her hands in preparation, and she just hurls 3 at the gnome, and then just releases all 3 at once on the other guy, and, yeah, he just kind of evaporates in a mist of blood. Saskia probably also goes, oh!
Yeah, Sass definitely has the similar reaction she's had to visceral killings of people, as opposed to monsters. So it's definitely and especially because this is new, it's got she doesn't have the sea green Eldritch Blasts anymore. These are fucking hellfire coming from her that are they deal force damage, but it's really, we'll call it hellfire. As this man just basically disintegrates there as this just fire, it's almost like the fire hits and these little parts of his armor catch on fire, and then the fires just grow like orbs and then just pop, and he just vanishes.
Was that the gnome that was talking?
No, this is the guy who was shoveling.
Oh jeez.
As his singed body, his singed pieces just splatter against the wall.
How far away is the gnome from the carriage?
The gnome is, I'll say, 20 feet away.
All right, then Sass is actually going to run up to be engaged with him.
Oh, okay. Excellent. All right. Fyrn, you are up.
So how many enemies are we looking at here, Sean?
You do not know. There's at least one that you know of that was talking. But you'd have to get out of the carriage to discern what's going on.
Okay, so I'm gonna step out of the carriage.
Okay, you see one guy in front. You see one guy who, for you're getting out of the carriage, is 25 feet away from you. Or really, no, it would be 30 feet because the horses are there too. Actually, it'd be 35 feet if I'm thinking about that appropriately. 35 feet away from you is the gnome. And then... well, actually, Sass got out of the carriage too, so we'll stick with the 20. 20 feet away is the gnome. Another 20 feet beyond him is the wall itself. With up there, you can see a guy leaning out from one of these murder holes. You presume there's other guys here, but you can't see them.
So this wall that's behind him.
Yeah.
You said it's more like scaffolding,
Yeah, this is not a thick wall. It's not made of trees, like we traditionally think of palisades as full logs. These are boards of wood that is just here to block the path and not really there to withstand a siege.
And how wide is this blockade? How wide
so
is the
I would say the whole thing is about 40 feet across, and then in the middle is the big double gates, which is about, I'll say, 15 feet across. Really, it's more like 16 feet, but...
So, not really thinking about whether it's going to hit anyone or not. Fyrn is going to hold up the Ithildagnir straight into the sky like He-Man holding his sword. And cast Ice Storm on the blockade.
Oh.
So that is a 20-foot radius sphere or circle cylinder, and a 40-foot high cylinder is centered on a point within range. The center point being the entrance to the basically the middle of the gate, the center of the structure. And Each creature in the cylinder must make a dexterity saving throw or take a bunch of damage.
Oh,
And it turns the entire area into difficult terrain
All right. I'm just
until the end of my next turn.
Okay, cool. All right. So each creature you
And
said.
this is the form of like large chunks of hail flying down from the sky and just pelting the crap out of it. So like some
Sure.
of them might have some cover, and some of it might get destroyed if you want to be flashy.
So it's 20 foot. It's a 20-foot wide cylinder.
20-foot radius, so
Radius, so
diameter
it's-
is 40 feet.
Okay.
40-foot high cylinder.
All right, just making sure. So that making sure it catches all of them, and it does. All right. The bandit, not bandit. The gnome, dexterity. You said.
Dexterity saving throw. Yeah.
The gnome got a dirty 20.
Okay, that's fine.
The bandits behind it did not do too well. They got a 10. And then
that's a
the
fail.
other figure gets an 18.
An 18 will do it.
Okay. All right. So, the
The damage here is.
So let's say the
halved
ones who succeed is
or-
halved.
Yeah. All right, so I'm gonna roll damage.
Okay.
It's gonna be 10 bludgeoning damage and 8 cold damage. Got some low rolls there, unfortunately.
Okay. The gnome is going to use a react. Nope, he's gonna save that. So he'll still take half of that. Okay, so the gnome's taking 9 more damage. 9 damage to boy. You hear absolute rancor of people like freaking out behind the wall as Fyrn, you take out a number of bandits that you don't even know.
Sweet.
Because if you're getting, because it's centered on a point, so you can hit them behind the wall.
Yes.
Okay, so a number of bandits are deceased that you can't see. The guy who is, I'll say, for some not mechanical but aesthetic damage to this wall, because technically the spell doesn't hit objects. I say one of these big fucking chunks of hail goes right through that murder hole and just crushes that bandit who was leaning out, who's told you guys to fuck off, basically. As his body's just like hanging from that murder hole now. Just being beat by hail and ice and sleet.
Awesome. Afterwards, Fyrn will close the gap using his movement to get towards that gnome.
Okay. So you should have enough movement to do that.
Yeah, I believe so. It's 30 feet. You said 25, I think I was
Yep.
away.
Yeah, you'll be able to get up to the gnome. So you and Sass are on the gnome right now.
Do I want to go all out? I think so, right, guys? I'm just
Yeah.
gonna action surge, you know?
Okay. Go for it.
And we're gonna take some swings on this dude.
Ruin this man's life. Go ahead. He
All
doesn't even
right.
have a name.
24 to hit with the first strike.
Yeah, that's gonna hit.
All right. That's gonna be 12 bludgeoning damage and 9 cold damage.
All right, he is going to use his reaction, his elemental absorption, to gain resistance to that cold. As you can see, he brings those gloves up and moves his hands around, and sort of his body starts to kind of turn bluish as he just absorbs some of that cold damage, not taking all of it. And he is going to gain some temporary hit points.
Ooh, that's a cool absorb element. And I get extra attacks from action search, right?
Yes, because it's a full attack action.
Sweet. All right. So I'm going to.
He also has
sap him?
he has one stack of frostbite on him.
Correct. I'm going to sap him, so now he has disadvantage on his next attack.
Yep, and he has -10 from having one stack of frostbite of movement speed.
Right. Second attack.
Disadvantage. He has disadvantage on his next attack.
Yes.
Okay. All right, go for the second attack.
25 to hit.
25 will hit.
Wow.
11 bludgeoning and 9 cold damage.
Okay. All right. He has 2 stacks of frostbite, so he has -20 movement speed.
Right. And final attack. 22 to hit.
That will hit.
15 bludgeoning and 5 cold.
Remember when we were fighting the Herald? Things were just always looking bad. This is nice. I like this.
Yeah.
All right. What was I just going to pull? Oh, I just wanted to look at the Ithel back here.
Yeah, that's my third stack of
Frostbite.
frostbite. So he now has the fragile condition.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm going to use. Well, do I have to use my bonus action to cast anything? Action surge? No, it's
The
free.
action surge is a free.
Okay, so I still have a bonus action, and because I killed something this round, I could use it to make another attack.
Okay, go for it.
So I'm doing that.
So just so everyone knows, a being that is fragile, attacks against it ignore resistances, and attacks against the creature can now score a critical hit on a 19 and a 20. That includes all of you. So it's not just Fyrn who gets that benefit while it's fragile.
The last attack was a 15 to hit.
That one will actually not hit.
Dang.
He's become one with the ice, and all right, that was a hell of a turn, Fyrn.
Thank you.
Bruce, you are up.
All right, Bruce is gonna slowly walk out, not as fast as Fyrn, with his hood up. You know, the little disguise that Jaquette gave him, but he's, you know. Bruce is gonna, you know, with his goggles on, bird on shoulder, he's just gonna stare at the gnome, move his foot, and just cast hold person.
Okay. What kind of saving throw is that?
That'd be a wisdom.
You got a 16.
He fails.
Damn. Gnome is held.
Yep. Bruce
Is that
gonna
incapacitated?
slowly-
Is that the
He's paralyzed.
paralyzed? Even better. All right. Gnome is paralyzed. Anything else, Bruce?
No, that's it.
Okay. This guy's getting shit rocked. He hasn't even gotten to do anything other than absorb a little bit of elements.
He was rude. Also, quickly, Jaquette, did you disguise anybody else besides you and me?
We're the only ones that have the spell Disguise Self cast
Okay.
on us.
Yes.
Everyone else just has like basic ones, but I feel like that's kind of gone with the wind.
Well, that was my question. Also, when you
Wait,
attacked,
isn't it my turn?
Well,
It is your turn now.
It's both of your turns.
Right.
So it is your turn now. I just had Bruce written down first on my 15 line.
Oh, okay.
So I apologize.
That's okay.
I
No worries.
should have
Alphabetical order, you know.
gone with
Yeah.
who would like to go between the two.
I was gonna
No,
suggest
it's
that
all
I go
good.
first anyway. So.
Yeah.
Because he wanted to do that.
To set you up.
All right, Jacques, you are up now.
Jacques is going to lower free action, get rid of disguise self. And he's going to look over at Septimus and he goes, "Do you want to go on the high ground?"
Sure. It's a better vantage point.
And then he's going to grab Septimus, take out the rod of doors.
I just want to mention the ice storm remains there until my next round. It's not going to deal damage to you, but you are going to be in what do you call it?
Difficult terrain.
Difficult terrain. Yeah.
Yeah,
All right, that's fine.
The hail is done. It's just difficult terrain now.
Right. So gonna use the doorway scepter and dimension door Septimus and Jacques up to the ramparts
Terrace.
terrace, if possible outside the hailstorm.
Based on where Fyrn would have placed it, you won't be outside of it if you're on the ramparts. If you're just on the other side of the gates, like 15 feet on the other side, you won't be caught in it.
All right, I have to go somewhere I can see, and I assume that I can't see through the gate. So
No, you'd really
I'm
only
gonna-
see a little
All
bit of the
right,
ramparts.
that's fine.
Mhm.
So
Okay.
Jacques teleports both of us up there. So what do we see now that we're up here?
Yeah, absolutely. So you kind of see like they've kind of established a little like warren, if you will, in here where they haven't exact. There's not like another wall on the other side. It's like there was a gate here at one point with this gatehouse, and they've built the front of it up, and then they just have movable barriers on the other side to try to charge people trying to leave Hyvin. And they just have a little camp basically set up in the ruins of this gatehouse. And you can see about 6 dead bandits. Or bandits is not the right word. That's just the stat block I'm using. There you see 6 scrubs who are just like half frozen and covered in sleet, and bruised up from chunks of hail. You can see 3 other bandits that are outside of the hailstorm, who are where those other barricades are. This whole tower is roughly like 30 feet deep, so there is like basically they have a little like bandit camp set up in here, with some tents, some makeshift shacks. You see a ton of like spears and stuff all around, and then you see these 3 bandits are near the barricades, so they're about 25 feet away from you, down on the ground. And then you actually see getting out of a tent is a much larger bandit, who has he looks like a bigger threat than the rest of them. He has these really large gauntlets on that look like they're made out of stone, and he looks like enhanced almost. Like his muscles are massive. Like he is a bruiser, a brawler. Someone who looks like they have a temper as well. Just a bald brawler, 6'5", huge muscles, who's just come out of his tent at hearing 6 of his subordinates screaming as the hail destroyed them.
Beautiful. Is there anyone left up on this?
No, the ramparts were completely cleaned out by Fyrn.
Cool. Then Septimus is gonna point down to Jacques is gonna point down to the big guy, to Septimus, and goes, "I think we should probably focus on that guy next." And he's gonna bonus action apply poison, and that's gonna end his turn. I assume there's nowhere I can get cover up here.
No, you'd have to jump. You'd have to jump down and move into the camp areas.
Mm-hmm. That's fine. And before he's gonna go, "We need to take care of that guy." Applies the poison and goes, "Hyvin, iron and mana's back."
Excellent.
He's gonna end his turn.
All right.
No going quiet.
It is the gnome's turn.
I think Fyrn's rubbed off a little on Jacques.
Maybe a little. The gnome can't do anything on his turn because he's paralyzed. He does get to make the save again at the end. What kind of save was it again? Con?
Wisdom.
Wisdom. That's right. Oh, he rolled worse, so he does not break the hold person. All right. So it is now the brute's turn. All right. And the sleet storm is still up, so he is not quite gonna be able to get to you guys, I think. Yeah, because he doesn't have enough movement speed. He is going to kind of like pump these fists together, and he looks like he might like charge, but then he kind of like clearly he's not like a brute in the sense of no tactical mind. He sees that what he's against, and he just ducks in and into cover amongst the ruins, preparing perhaps his next move. Or waiting for you all to come out more. At least for now. So the bandits are up next, and they are going to
Septimus not get a turn?
Septimus rolled lowest on initiative.
So these are still okay. Sorry.
Sorry, these are the minions. These are the minions.
Okay. Gotcha.
Come on.
All right.
You should know this now.
No, that's fair.
You see these minions are like slapping each other, like to be like, get up there, get up there. And you can see one of them is real, like more than the others is like panicking. As you can see, he does shakily aim a wand at you guys. So I'm gonna need Bruce and Fyrn to give me dexterity saving throws.
Is this a spell?
Oh, not Fyrn. Sorry, not Fyrn. Bruce and Jacquet.
Is this a spell?
Are you looking to? Oh, it's a magic action. So yes, it is a spell. So you spell guard gives you advantage, right?
Yeah.
Cool.
Sorry, dex save you said?
Dex save, yeah.
Nat 20.
15 for me.
15 for you. Bruce, you just make it. And Jacquet, of course, you make it. All right. As a fireball goes flying at you too.
Ooh.
Wait, did you mean Septimus and Jacquet? Because Septimus is up on
sorry.
the...
Yes, I meant Septimus.
Oh.
Sorry, Bruce. I made you roll for no reason. Septimus, you need to give me a dexterity saving throw.
But why?
Because there's a fireball going at your face.
Does a 3 succeed?
It does not.
If it's any consolation, the sun will rise in a few hours.
It's like every time he rolls. I don't understand how it's statistically possible.
It's almost like I want to have him start rolling real dice again. Just to be like,
Yeah.
I know it's not how dice work, but it seems like it's how dice work. For him.
Maybe he should just change the color of his dice that he uses.
Yeah, that's it. You did it.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
solved the conundrum.
I did.
All right, so Septimus, you take the brunt of this explosion while Jacquet is able to deftly avoid it. As you're going to take 36 fire damage.
All right.
As Jacquet, as you're slipping out of this, because I imagine you have evasion, right? So you can avoid all the damage.
Yep.
You see like that little bandit who fired off this wand. He went flying back 10 feet as he fired it off. As it has though erupted this gate, this rudimentary gate, to be on fire around you all. So if you end your turn in this fire, you do run the potential hazard of catching on fire.
Nope. Including those of us on top of it? Or
Yes, because you're literally in the fire.
yeah, cool.
As the two other bandits are just going to fire off good old-fashioned crossbow bolts at you guys. First one on Jacques. I do not think this will hit. It is an 8.
No.
Okay. Second one on Septimus. Septimus a 16.
Miss.
Okay. The Jacques, you duck as a bolt flings into the smoldering wood behind you. Septimus, a bolt just flings off of your armor as you're standing up from the blast of fire damage that hits you. Your armor almost a little red hot from it.
Why didn't you get out of the way?
I like to think he literally took it to the chest, like almost like Jacques was in front of him, and Jacques saw it coming at you guys, and he ducked, and Septimus didn't have time to see it, and just faced it. As there are the whole upper portion.
Oh, wait a
of
minute.
this
How much
wall.
damage was 36, you said?
36, yes, because you're resistant to fire because of your forge cleric.
Wait, is 36 the haft?
No. 36 is the
okay,
total.
okay. Then I didn't.
No, this guy didn't just fire off 72 points of damage off of his wand of fireball balls. All right, Septimus, you are up now. So you have got these bandits who are 35 feet away from you on the opposite side of the gatehouse, and you have the other bandit who has essentially taken the hide action.
How many little bandits are left?
There are 3 little guys left, 2 who are 30 feet away from you, 1 that's 40 feet away from you, and then there's one big guy. And you're inside.
The fire.
Yes, you do have to get off of the ramparts, or you will take damage.
What would that take for me to do?
You are... So if the 2 of you are up here, you could just jump down, but you'll take fall damage, because this is about, I think I said about 20 feet up. So it's going to require 20 feet of movement to get down, but it is also difficult terrain because of Fyrn's sleep on the ground, which...
So it's on fire and frozen at the same time.
I could argue for the sake of flavor and the power fantasy of you guys destroying this place that the fireball has alleviated the difficult terrain. Since I'm creating a fire hazard here, I think that's fair enough that it has alleviated the ice from the ice storm, and it is equivalent spell levels that were cast. So to me, that I'll bite that apple. There's no longer any difficult terrain, so you can get out of the fire and just get to the base and 5 feet from the wall.
I would like to do that, please.
All right, so that'll cost you 25 feet of movement, and then you will be you'll now be 25 feet from them.
It's very steamy though.
Oh, it's yeah. Your glasses, if you were wearing them, fogged up.
And I can't see the big boy.
Big boy is hidden, so you'd have to use a perception check, search action to find him.
Or what if I hold action if on his turn I see him?
You could do that. You could hold your action until he's visible to cast a spell.
Then I'll just do that.
Okay.
I would like to hold an action to cast a spell for if he pops out again.
Okay, what spell are you holding?
Hold person.
I figured. All right.
Be right there.
Saskia is up.
All right, Saskia is going to take her hand and cast Vampiric Touch.
I believe that's auto crit because he's paralyzed.
Yes, it is on a crit.
So go ahead and roll max damage first. You might kill him with that.
So 5d6 is
30.
30 plus 21. So 51.
Ignore resistances.
51 total. He's not resistant to necrotic. And you can't use absorb, and he can't use his reaction anyway. All right, where is it? So you said 50 what total?
51.
51. Ooh, his little itty bitty temporary HP saved him,
Oh,
but he is
he is
extremely weak.
I don't think she has any bonus action, fun stuff.
Yeah, probably not.
As a bonus action, she's gonna conjure her Pact of the Blade weapon.
Oh, the sword comes out like in the sword. If the sword could speak, it'd be like, "Finally, I'm here!" Because she's had literally a machine gun of Eldritch Blasts that are better than any weapon she could be holding.
And that ends her turn.
All right, Fyrn, you are up. This guy is on his last legs. He's paralyzed. He's about to go down.
Okay, I'll
capture him.
bonk him.
Batter up.
Unconscious.
Yeah.
But I gotta.
I mean, I leave that up to your discretion. I will neither.
Fucking just knock him into the temple district.
I need another attack as a bonus action. So I have to kill something.
No, you can't see anybody. You're gonna have to get through the burning gatehouse to get to anybody. So you
Fyrn,
don't have to kill him.
just shatter. Yeah, just shatter this man.
Yeah, I think Fyrn's all about it. He's gonna whack him.
All right, go for it.
I mean, he's automatic crit.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Oh yeah, yeah. How do you want to do this? How do you? We don't have to do any of it. How do you want to do this?
I think that like
Man
he's
had
already,
9
like,
health left.
Yeah, he's like on death's door.
Like
Fyrn's
literally,
like,
he would have died if he didn't have the temp HP.
You know what? He's just gonna like check him like if he was bunting somebody with like bunting a baseball. Like he just like sideways pushes him over with the Ithil Dagnir, and he just like freezes before he
stick
hits the
check him.
ground and shatters into pieces.
Do you want to just use the push action just for the flavor of it with this?
Yeah,
or the
sure.
push part of the weapon, your tactical.
Yeah. I'll
Yeah.
add that to the attack. So
Yeah,
he-
just
you know, he
just
moves
for the
5
flavor of
feet,
him
yeah.
actually getting pushed back. All right, so he goes flying back, and you can see like he doesn't completely shatter into bits because he didn't have the frozen condition. He is, but he is fragile, so you do see like parts of him do shatter as if like chunks of his flesh that were completely frozen through do shatter with this. As he just goes flinging back, and his like face like it's just like mush. Like he looks like he was been beat for hours by somebody off of this one hit from Fyrn. And as he goes flying back with the push feature, you do see though, and this may be why I suggested this, his gloves and his boots all like shake and release this violent surge of magic upon his death. As there's just sort of this immediate smell of cinnamon all up in the air. As I will roll on the wild magic table.
Gulp.
Actually, is there?
Cinnamon wild magic.
Cinnamon wild magic.
The most delicious magic in the game.
Ilyuvanya's moon magic would like a word.
What does that taste like, Kieran?
It tastes like a sharp cheddar.
I knew you were gonna say that. I don't know why.
How did you know I was going to say that?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Who do
Ilyuvanya makes me think of
somebody?
smart food popcorn.
I was gonna say
Um,
blue cheese.
Blue cheese?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. It's just a spark of this wild magic that dissipates quickly. Nothing happens because what he rolled would have affected him, and he's dead.
Uh-oh.
Sweet.
But the
Oh,
any of you with magical inclinations would know that there's no more magic in those items he possessed. As if there's a eternal protocol to not allow their magic items to get hands of others.
how crazy! Like what happened like 20 sessions ago with the maul that I was using.
They learned from that situation.
Good, because that maul.
There's a bunch. It's not just the maul. There's a spell, a +1 spell. What do you call it? Focus. A bunch of dagger of lightning return. They lost some good
Ring of shooting stars.
Ring of shooting. They lost good items to you guys. Like you hit them for like tens of thousands of silver worth of item loss. So they would rather the item blow up the person killing their guy than get in their hands.
So how far away am I? I know I can't really see anybody. But
You
like the
are 20 feet.
barricade.
You are 25 feet away from the barricade.
Okay, can I run up to the barricade and
Mhm.
then is it like a wooden gate sort of scenario, or like
It's more like a big tall wooden fence gate than it is like an actual like reinforced gate.
Can I smash it with my hammer?
100%. Go ahead and give me an attack.
Woo!
Wee woo.
25 to hit.
That'll definitely hit.
All right. I'm gonna try and re-roll that damage. I'll take the first one. 10 bludgeoning, 10 cold.
All right, Fyrn, you smash this gate open. That with the weakening from the fire, that gate is burst open. You smash it, and the two gates fall clean off their hinges. But they don't fall on Septimus.
Thank you.
I just look around and spot the nearest enemy, which I guess is the big guy.
No, big guy is hidden.
Oh, is
Did you
anybody visible?
Yep, there are 3 bandits that are visible, though they are 30 feet away from you.
Yeah, I just like lift up my hammer. Oh wait, actually, I could cast a cantrip as an attack because I still have an attack.
Yep.
So I will be trying to hit him with a little firebolt.
Go for it.
The one on the left.
On the left. Let's go for it.
So 9 hit, Sean.
Let me check the... It does not hit. As this bandit does a little, like it's clearly this bandit did not get hit by this firebolt out of pure luck. As he just sort of, turns to his friend at the exact right moment, and the firebolt dashes across where his head once was. And he looks back with just, pale face, wide eyes.
And I have another attack, but I can't do anything with it. So instead, I scream at the two of them, "Surrender or die!"
Give me an intimidation roll.
Sure.
With advantage.
Oh.
Because you guys are killed.
I just imagine
7
this
of their
burning gate framing.
Guys, I don't have the spooky mask anymore. I got a 10.
Well, I would allow you to use your strength modifier for this because it is a show of strength. So whatever you rolled plus your strength modifier, and if you're proficient in intimidation.
Right, I am proficient. My normal thing would be a -1, but my strength modifier is a +5. So I guess I add 6 to it, making it a 16.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Can I add 5 to that if that helps?
100%. I love it. Because it's not only do they see Fyrn burst through the gates with their with this insane maul made from the jawbone of a white dragon with the head this icy head to it. It's literally like the fires around Fyrn start to go out when he walks through the gate through his presence, and they see one of the gates he knocked down is literally covered with the goop that once was the guy shoveling outside. And there are 6 corpses around you guys on the ramparts as they see this cleric in plate armor who faced a full 5th level fireball. 6th level fireball. And then this little kobold behind who's just like to give that +5 nonchalantly. And this
That was
woman
kind of-
who has like fire red in her eyes from firing off her Eldritch blasts. And then Jacques
I mean, that was
there,
my-
who's been announcing everything.
That was my question earlier. Like, did they recognize us?
They might now. After the announcement from Jacques and the showing of all of you, the 3 bandits run away.
That's not what I said. I say out to them. I said surrender or die, not flee or die.
They run into the streets.
All right, let's get back in the carriage. Go. Come on.
I don't know that
we
combat's
just get-
over.
There is I keep saying bandit, they're not bandits. There is one
The big
gang
boy.
member left who you all can't see right now.
Big boy Jones.
Even me, Sean?
You're not in the same area as them yet. He's out of the 30-foot radius of your tremor sense. You don't know where he is. He may have fled. He may be fleeing as well on his turn. I mean, technically speaking, none of them can flee yet. They're all clearly going to flee. We have to wait till their turn for them to flee. But they're all very clearly, like they do drop their weapons and are about to run away. Yeah.
They dropped crap.
One of them pisses his pants. The other one also pissed his pants, but it was from the fireball he cast. There's a lot of piss in this fight right now.
I hate that.
And that's when the piss wizard comes out.
No, stop.
Yes. Oh.
Bringing out the piss wizard.
Storm. I cast this ball.
But anyway,
Well, I didn't know you brought Jago into your campaign.
Jacques and Bruce, it's your turn.
Do you want to go first?
Sure. Jacques is going to use a perception check.
Search action.
Yeah.
Go for it.
It's a 17.
Yeah. You find him. He actually did not roll that well. It's just a matter of the new mechanics required the search for him. So you spot, like, it's almost like through. Go ahead.
I was going to say, you have to pass a DC 15 check to be hidden.
Then he is not hidden. Then I'll say.
Okay. No worries.
He was in full cover, but he's not hidden. You know where he is. You know where he is.
If
you know
he's not
exactly where he
hidden,
is.
and if he's not hidden, then wouldn't Septimus's hold person trigger?
Yeah, I guess we'll just trigger it now. Since he wasn't actually hidden.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. I hate the new rule sometimes. Because but now I know.
DC
All right.
17 wisdom saving throw.
Got it, boss. He passes with a dirty 20. All right, now, Jacques, if you would like to shoot this man, you can, or try to talk to him, whatever you want to do. But he's you know where he's hiding. You don't have sight on him, so you can't cast like a visual based spell on him. And I guess you can't shoot him unless you walk in 20 feet to be able to see him.
Jacques is going to he's gonna try to use he's got 30 feet of movement. He's gonna climb down, kind of try to circle around as best he can to get an angle on this guy. With the climb speed, can I do that?
Yeah, I would say yes.
Okay. And then Jacquet's going to he's gonna ready in action. And he's gonna say, "Take off the gauntlets and surrender." And then I'm gonna hold my action to attack him, should he move.
Okay.
Or should he do anything besides take off the gauntlets and surrender.
All right, we could do that.
Ready
Basically,
for
if he
funny
takes
business?
any other action on his turn besides removing the gauntlets and surrendering, you'll get your attack.
Cool.
All right, Bruce, you are up.
I'm gonna walk forward,
Mhm.
even further towards everybody that is running away or planning on running away,
Mhm.
and I am going to hold my action to cast Vortex Warp on anybody that decides to not run away and turn and face and fight us.
So if on an enemy's turn they don't run away, you'll cast Vortex Warp on them.
Yep.
Okay. If and when you can see them.
Correct. So
Okay.
I'm walking forward, you know.
Okay, cool. Perfect. I love it. All right. I just need to visually think to myself where Jacques is. So Jacques, you have a climb speed, so you're climbing along the walls of the gatehouse so that you're not on the ground.
Whatever I need to do to get that line of sight on him,
Okay.
that's the best.
Then
way to
I'll
do
say
it.
that's the best way to do it because it'll give you a looking down advantage on the right wall of the gatehouse. And like you're not like you're climbing amongst like old, clearly what was once a second floor to this gatehouse.
Sure.
So you're really just like find a crevice and see him, and have your crossbow pointed out. He does not drop the gauntlets, so I'll give you your attack.
All right. I don't have sneak attack, but that's all right. Dirty 20 to hit.
That will hit. Let me check something. He is going to use a reaction to add 4 to his AC with a counter attack. So that will not hit. It'll bring his AC up to 22. You are ranged attacking him, so he can't use the counterattack portion of it because he doesn't have a ranged weapon, so he won't punch you in the face. You're too far away for him to get to you. But what he actually does, and I imagine it's literally he just blocks the bolt with one of these big earthen fists. He does step out. And I'll say because they're all kind of like, even though they aren't all on the same initiative, they're all like clustered next to each other in initiative count. I'll say at this point the other bandits do run away. Bruce, my God, names. He's not running away, so I'll say you can trigger the Vortex Warp.
All right. I'm sorry, Chickwet. I'm gonna Vortex Warp him and right in front of Fyrn.
That's fine.
Okay. Well, does he gets a saving throw, doesn't he?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Constant.
Con.
No, he automatically succeeds. Good job, Bruce.
All right, con. That is a 24.
Oh yeah. He fails.
He's a beefy boy.
Definitely fails.
Definitely fails. Okay, so it's almost like he comes out and he almost like claps the fist together as he just feels the tingle of your magic, and the vortex forms, but he resists the teleportation effect. He resists getting sucked into the warp, and he does kind of fear. And when he looks at you, you can definitely see that this guy's got like fire in his eyes. Like he thinks he's hot shit. Like he was clearly like the boss of this little camp. So he like thinks like these puny wimps, they don't know what they're doing. He also did not see the display of power that happened there when he was hiding in full cover. So he is going to charge you, Fyrn.
Okay.
So he does have a bonus action that allows him to move additional feet as a part of a charge. So he's going to go for a big attack on you. Actually, he doesn't need the tactical charge. He has enough movement speed just to get up to you.
Cool.
All right, Fyrn. All right, Fyrn. That is a 27 to hit.
Oh, yeah, it
I was trying to do math in my head. I actually did it wrong. It was a 28 to hit. All
I
right.
cast shield twice. I have double reaction.
Ah, there you go. Good thing that it doesn't stack and it just replaces the previous shield. All right, Fyrn. This is going.
Yeah, but
to
I put the
deal-
shield on his feet so he trips and misses.
Ah, that's what I didn't account for. All right, Fyrn. That's gonna be 11 bludgeoning damage.
Okay.
And then he is going to sap you.
That's cheating. It's my move.
And he's gonna go for a second attack on you.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Add 2 more damage to that last attack.
Okay.
He gets a nat 20 on this one.
No.
Yeah. You
Silvery barbs.
you
Can I not see?
No, it's because you used your reaction already to attack him.
Ooh.
Thank you. That's true.
Mhm.
Yoo-hoo.
I rules lawyer, the rules lawyer. All right, Fyrn.
Rules bend to my will. What are you talking about? I can use 2 reactions.
You're not the DM here.
You have no power here.
All right, so Fyrn, that's going to be 35 bludgeoning damage.
Ouch.
And I need a Constitution saving throw.
$18.
You meet it, so nothing happens. He was trying to knock you prone, basically. And he's gonna go for his last attack on you. And as he's attacking, you can see like a rage building up in his eyes, as if he has some kind of rage on him.
Oh, he's a fighter and a barbarian.
What do you mean by that?
Exactly what I said.
Oh.
Oh right, Fyrn. That is going to be a 24 to hit.
I'm gonna cast shield and block it. I have AC 25.
Hell yeah! All right, so this guy comes in with just these like 2 big strikes on you that are surprising, but then also like he's clearly enhanced in some way. You expected this guy to be a bit of a runt compared to your power. And granted, this is like the first bit of damage that you've really taken, so it's no skin off your back.
Yeah, imagine it's like he punches me in the gut or like hits me with like a cheap shot that like really like knocks the breath out of me, and there's like blood on my what do you call it? It like I cough up a little blood that like hits the Ithildagnir and like freezes on it and like gives it like a tinge of red.
Ooh, very cool. Yeah. All right, that is the end of his turn. Septimus, you are up. This guy is engaged with Fyrn right now. They are right in front of you. What would you like to do? For everyone's knowledge, you do have advantage on attacks against him because he was attacking recklessly.
Ooh.
So Fyrn, if you attack him, your first attack will be straight.
Neutral.
Yep.
So I'll just throw a little guiding bolt at him.
Hell yeah, go for it.
Double advantage.
Good thing I have advantage. That's an nat 20. But that
Hell
doesn't matter
yeah,
for
brother.
spell.
Hell
Wait,
yeah,
it
brother.
does.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. In my games, it does.
30 radiant damage.
Woo! 30 radiant damage. There's this big ol' blast of Machina magic. Hits him right in the chest. sends him staggering for a second, and also giving advantage. Well, there's no double advantage, so still a bright old
But more-
beacon. Although everyone does have Fyrn is engaged with him, so there is the +1 for that. But anyway, anything else, Septimus?
Oh, that'll do it. That'll
Sass-
do, pig. That'll do.
Shashki is up.
That +1 is only when it's melee, right?
Correct. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. You know what Sass is gonna do?
Does it
Yeah,
rhyme with-
she'll come striding in through the flaming gate and be like, "Show me your moves." As she'll make hate doing this. 6 attacks, all with advantage. All right, so first one's a 19 to hit.
That'll hit.
Second one is a 25 to
Hits.
hit. Uh, 28.
Hits.
Nat 20.
Definitely hits.
All right.
Uh, 19 to hit.
Hits.
And then a 25 to hit.
All of them hit, with one of them being a nat 20.
Okay.
Big
Oh.
boy.
So 36 plus 10, 46 plus 30, 76 points of force damage.
You say 76?
I did.
Oh my god.
Wow. Wow. That's all I can say.
Wow.
Wow. With one hit, he's not dead yet, but you would have bloodied him with this one hit, or gotten pretty much bloodied him with this one hit. So he's looking rough. He's one bad turn away from death's door.
This is how Iron and Mana does things around here. And that ends her turn.
AT. All right.
Arr.
Fyrn, you are up now.
How do you want to kill him?
I want to roll big numbers. So the first one's not at advantage.
Yeah,
28 to hit.
that hits.
Bonus action. Doodad. Armor thingy. Bonus. Gleam rot armor. Does that?
The ancient, the guardian of nature. There you go.
Yeah. Which means I have to roll a Constitution saving throw or take some penalty. I
No,
rolled-
not anymore. The gleam rot armor was purified in the light of the firmament.
Thanks. That's even cooler.
So it's really just nature armor now.
Nature.
Gleam armor,
Um,
really.
So I get a D6 added to my attacks.
Mhm.
I'm rolling damage, right? Okay, we're
Yep.
rolling damage. Uh, 16 bludgeoning, 7 cold. First attack.
Okay.
I sap him right back because I can. Roll the second attack with advantage.
Yep.
Dirty 20 to hit.
Hits.
Uh, 17 bludgeoning damage, 18 cold damage.
Oh.
Don't. How do you want to do this?
Fyrn will basically just smack the crap out of him. 2 overhead shots. One to the forehead to like basically stagger him and make him lose his footing, and then the next one just hits him on one of the shoulders and crumples him down to his knees. And like I reach out to like hit him a 3rd time and like finish the job and just smash him to bits, but he just like falls straight over.
All right, awesome. So he's taken out. There's immediate crackling and cinnamon in the air, Fyrn, around you, as it his fists do explode. So Fyrn, I do need you to give me a saving throw.
I can't say you didn't warn me.
Yes. Wisdom
what
saving
kind?
throw. Wisdom saving throw.
Oh, you know I'm so good at these, Sean. All right, ready? I got a natural 1. -1 equals 0. But I cast Indomitable to reroll it.
Excellent. Go for it.
And this time I got a 14 -1 is 13 plus 10 is 23.
23. Yeah,
Oh, sorry,
you're,
plus
you're...
12 plus 12, 25.
Okay, you're going to succeed. So you don't take the effects of the confusion spell that goes off in the area. But since you are within 5 feet of him when this happens, you're going to take some damage.
Okay.
$13. Actually, wouldn't. Can someone roll me a D8?
Okay.
And re-roll 1 if you roll 1.
3.
We rolled the same
3.
thing.
Okay.
Aww.
So you're gonna take 13 fire damage, as there's a wild burst akin to someone's favorite cantrip, Sorcerer's Burst.
Okay, I have resistance to that, so it's only 6 fire damage.
There you go.
Yay.
As the gauntlets blow up, and so do this guy's forearms. It is.
No.
It's an absolute massacre in this little gatehouse, as you have successfully taken out the Chroma Fist Vanguard here.
Can I ask one question?
Yeah.
How much money was the gnome going to ask for if we were willing to pay?
Well, I'm not going to tell you.
I like it better.
I'm gonna need like 2 silver.
It's the principle. It's the principle of the thing.
Yeah, don't worry. Just wait 10, like a week from now, when some other group of gangers take this spot and rebuild the wall and start asking for tolls again.
Yeah, if that gnome just took at another set, like in another way, and just been like, "Do you want to valet your carriage here?" Like, we would have thrown so much money at him. That's
that
all I'm
would
saying.
not have been as much fun.
I'm just saying, it's all about the business sense.
Yeah, no, it's true. This gnome only saw a weakly peasant and a rich effete noble. He thought it was going to be easy pickings. He assumed when he walked away, the next thing that was going to come out of Jacquet's mouth was fine, not a blast
Not
of
eldritch blast.
eldritch nature into his back of his head and exploding his companion. But there are absolutely people like looking out their windows in the main Old Gate Road street that leads out into Hyvin proper. There are a ton of like people just like staring. There's no like armed guards or other like reinforcements for these guys there. You can probably see like 120 feet or so down are those 3 bandits still running away. As they're a little too disturbed to think clearly about running into alleyways.
Septimus looking at Jaquette, he just goes,
apologies, friends, Jaquette says, shouting to the crowd. When Iron and Mana returns to Hyvin, we did not expect such a greeting. But fear not, for we have returned. Go, tell your friends and family. Sing it from the rooftops. Your saviors are here. Fear not, for no more miscreants will hold up your gates. No more will you have to fear walking through the streets. Because we're back, and we're sorry we ever left.
You see some people, like, you can actually see some genuine smiles on people's faces. Like, you know, like, for simple crowds like this, we always just go with Jaquette's baseline persuasion performance check. So, like, this is successful. There are, like, a few people who are, like, shake their head and go back into their house. Like, for them, it's like, great, another group who's just gonna probably control that gate in a few weeks, and I'll still have to pay a toll, or who's gonna fuck up my house in a street squabble or something. And there's, like, a few awkward people who are like... Not quite enough to turn into, like, a huge uproarious applause, but, like, the effect has been had. These people now have noted and have appreciated what you've done for them. In this sense.
And then turning to the party, Jacques goes, sorry, I didn't expect things to get that explosive, but I think it's part of who we are.
I guess the jig is up.
And there's no way in hell I was paying any fucking toll.
of course not.
All right. Well, looking at all the bodies, I guess we should go.
Well, they're certainly gonna know that we're back for sure.
As you say that, the entire gate collapses from the fire that was burning it.
Yeah. Yeah, they will.
Next time we should be a little bit more careful with our damage if we're gonna go on saying we're saving the city.
Hey, in our defense, that was their fireball, not ours.
You,
and the magic items kept blowing up on them.
What was
Sorry.
that?
Their magic items kept blowing up on them.
Yeah, what was that about?
Sigil said that's... Wait, did Sigil tell us about that in Fox of Magic? That was
no,
just
that
you.
was out of character.
Okay, never mind. I have no idea what I'm talking about.
He was saying, he did say... Go ahead.
Sigil had told us that there was more magic items in town being thrown around. Maybe this is what he meant by, I think he mentioned black market goods.
Yeah, he did mention that the town had been flooded with magic items.
Yeah.
Those are manipulated, tainted enchantments.
It's quite dangerous.
Yeah.
I could see why Sigil was so concerned.
Well,
Hey.
Before someone else shows up to cause more trouble, should we continue on?
Yeah, let's go.
Do you guys
Probably get out of here before they ask us to clean up this mess.
Yeah, before we do that, just quickly, did we want to question these guys? And he just points to the guy who's like got no arms and like half exploded, like
he's
next
dead.
to him.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm aware.
Oh, you got the femur still.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
What did you drop
Poke
any
him.
Yeah, I
Poke him,
had
Bruce.
a freaking annoying ass mask that I couldn't take off for a very long time.
And you attuned to the Ithildagnir?
Yeah, so it's Ithildagnir, the rod, and the armor.
Cool.
Are the three
Just making sure.
attunements.
Cool. Well, Fyrn says this, and imagine gestures to the rotting femur on his waist.
I mean, you can decapitate him and bring him with you, but we should probably get out of here. We can question him later.
I don't think there's anything they would know that could help us right now. We know that they're with part of the faction of the Arduna, and they're looking to just, I don't know, make a quick buck.
I mean, this
The
just
city's
got-
this. We know that the city's lawless. It's nothing that we weren't expecting.
I mean, hey, if you want to make a new friend with the dead, be my guest. And Jacquet's gonna walk past, unstop the decanter of endless water, and just do a little, damage
spray.
control, put out the
Yeah.
fire.
Yeah. And you see like another awkward passerby claps. It's like,
Thank you. And Jacquet gestures with the water and just like sprays a stream. Oh, sorry.
I feel like Fyrn would just be like, he realizes that all of the things that he attuned to in the past were like he no longer has any like bladed weapons that he could cut this guy's
Yeah.
head off with. So he ends up like putting his foot on his like torso and just like Mortal Kombat pulling his head off, and like the spinal cord comes with it.
the man stops clapping and runs away.
Fyrn, really?
I
We're
got
trying
no
to
other-
differentiate ourselves from the barbarians, not be them.
How else am I supposed to get his head?
Fyrn, you are
You could
covered
have just
in
taken the
blood.
whole corpse. You could.
Yeah.
Actually, don't even go. And Jacquet's gonna gesture for him to leave. And as Fyrn walks by, Jacquet takes out the stone of cleansing. What is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that fun magic item, the cleansing stone, and just holds it over Fyrn to cleanse him of the
Mhm.
blood.
You do so.
And he's like, Saskia, you too.
And you look over and you see Saskia is just like staring, her hand on the gate covered in blood that she splattered that man onto, and is just covered in blood as well, and just like wide-eyed staring at the gate.
Yeah, you've killed before and you'll kill again. Get over it. I don't kill, though. Against my nature.
You want to
As she just glares at you, and you can see like that point of hellfire in her eyes still, and she walks away. She allows you to cleanse her. Yeah.
Runs up and while she's walking away and just.
Yeah. And you can return to the carriage, and you could probably have to clear some of the debris away, but that shouldn't be too big of an issue for you guys. And you can ride into the city down the main causeway of the old gate road. Where are you heading?
Temple
I think
district.
still to the temple district.
Mhm.
I don't think that changes.
Okay. So you ride through the city, and you notice in the streets, particularly as you're moving through the Brigadier district, like other people just like hanging around. You see some shifty figures kind of retreating into the alleyway as you pass by. But it seems like any like threats have been cleared away, maybe even by those bandits. Like maybe they passed by other alcoves of criminals or guards, and they are all kind of like, let's take this one slow. Let's stay back. Let's hide, observe. Let's see if this is actually even really iron and mana. So my question for you is, how do you look as you're going through the streets? Are you hidden again and all in the cart? Or are you proudly sort of presenting yourselves?
I would say that Fyrn has tossed the head in the cart, but is now outside with Jacquet, or whoever's riding in the front. And he has used.
There's only two seats in the front.
Okay, is that all right with everyone?
Well, Jacquet and Septimus are up there, but if you
Oh.
want to go up, you can.
Then maybe I just sit out the back, like with the.
Carriage
I
doesn't have
guess,
it out
like,
the back.
It's
It doesn't
yeah.
have like a little
It is-
canvas.
No, because it's not a wagon.
Okay.
It's a carriage. It's got doors on the sides.
So window rolled down then.
Okay, you can definitely do that. You can pull the curtain aside on the window. Stick your
And
head out.
I use a minor illusion to cover myself in armor that looks like, obviously it's just an illusion, but it looks like I'm like in a full plate armor made of like frost. Ice.
Yeah.
And like it's just
That's
like
cool.
full cold, but like the horns still stick out.
Very cool. Very cool. Septimus and Jacquette as the folks sitting most prominently. Do you? I mean, it's fine if you're just not illusioned and just sitting there. I just want to see how your guys are going through here.
Yeah, Septimus is neither conspicuous or boasting. He's just normal day going through the streets.
Same. Jacquette's, probably like filing his nails, observing everything going on, with a smile on his face. He's happy to be back in Hyvin. But he's not boasting. He's not, making any proclamations as we go.
Okay, just checking.
Dan's actively clocking people. Like he's got his head on his.
Yeah,
table.
he's illusions. Like it's probably a small child walking by, just like.
Yeah, totally. There's like a ton of urchins that are absolutely on the side of the streets that are watching you guys and occasionally running away as soon as they've like clocked any of you.
If I see anyone we know, though, Jacquette is going to, maybe a hey, how's it going, or like good to see you again. But he's not like actively engaging anyone.
Yeah, and
totally.
Bruce is in the cart, not cart,
Carriage.
Lolly Rock flying above the carriage, and he's switching vision between tremor sense, what's around the carriage, and what's above.
Yeah,
And just
go
back
ahead and
forth
give me a
every
perception
10
check
seconds.
from Lolly Rock.
Okay. Jerb.
Yeah,
Yeah. You were way off there, Stefan.
20. I can.
It's not a Charmander.
At 20. So, obviously it's not a close-up look, but you have this aerial view, so you get kind of like a breakdown of the way things look, and you can see, mingled with all the smokestacks from the houses and the tenement housing where folks have their fireplaces going, the Piscator's Row is like oddly green. Like the trees and whatnot there are grown and behaving as if it's springtime. But like not, and it's not like the snow is cleared though. The snow is there, like even on the boughs of the trees. There's a paradoxical life and winter, spring life and winter death there.
Okay.
They planted perennials.
And which is a very shallow strip of the whole area, but it is very evident because Hyvin doesn't have a lot of trees in it that are not like struggling to live because they're suffocated by the city. But that's like the most distinct thing you can see. That looks different here.
Okay.
But it matches what you already know about the city. But you are able to move down this causeway. You don't run into anyone you know. Plenty of people spot you, clock you. Some run away, probably to go tell someone, whether it's an enemy or an ally or a neutral person. And you pass through the second layer of walls, and that brings you into the Merchants Exchange, which you are much more familiar with. It's where you spend most of your time when you are here. And you can head directly to cross through the alley into Main Street to pass across to head towards the Lighthouse District. Now, this pass will take you across the territorial bounds next to the Widow's Ward, or you can cut into the harbor side deeper and avoid the Widow's Ward altogether.
Probably take the harbor side, right?
Jacquette's leaving this up to Septimus. He's driving.
So Septimus, you know the city well enough. You know that you could sneak through one of the wider alleyways into Harborside to avoid the Widow's Ward altogether.
The street's wider on the harbor.
There's plenty of wide enough streets. But you know of the alleyway that can fit a wagon to slip across the buildings into Harborside. Because Main Street is the widest street, and then there's the harbor, the street in the harbor side. But you have to cut through an alley to get there, and you could squeeze the cart through it, or carriage.
And then through the Widow's Ward, it's more direct. I don't have to go through an alley.
Yeah, it's just a matter of time. It'll take you a couple more minutes to get there.
And we're not going through the Widow's Ward. We're just passing.
No, you're just passing it where you are like on the territorial bounds between Harborside and the Widow's Ward.
Sure.
But if you cut through, you can
does...
completely avoid the Widow's Ward.
No, I don't want to go through an alleyway.
Okay. All right, so then this will pass you along the main thoroughfare that is right by the docks themselves, and leading up to the Lighthouse District, where you can avoid the Widow's Ward.
Wait, I thought that... Never mind. Nothing.
Okay. I will say, since you're keeping an eye out for anybody you know, and Bruce, you're keeping a bird's eye out. Jacquette and Bruce would see Winifred at her wharfmaster hut, since you are passing the docks.
Yeah. Jacquette is just gonna raise a hand, point to her, give a wave, then blows a little kiss.
Her face goes pale as a ghost, as if she's seen a ghost, and she averts her gaze immediately and goes inside the shop. And immediately, you can imagine she probably is locking the door.
You know what? That's fair. I don't think that Jacquette was the best of friends to her.
We're never friends.
Yeah, I think we had like a
No,
deal
that's actually
that if
true.
you ever come back there.
There's maybe
we're
like
no longer
5
friends.
minutes where you guys were almost like acquaintances.
They had an
Yeah.
understanding.
That's a fair way to put it.
But you pass the wrought iron gates that lead into the Lighthouse District, and you can keep going down the hill towards the temple court. As you approach the temple court, the temple that is Septimus's is literally the first one on the right. So Septimus, you can see that this temple is not grand yet. It is mostly wooden structures built on top of the stone ruins of the temple to shore it up. Repairs to the rooftop, a new gate at the front entrance. The ruins themselves, like, there were still walls and there was still a second floor, so this wasn't like completely ruined, so it just needed some holes patched up. It's honestly akin to the way your house is patched up right now. But
Classic.
The thing you would immediately notice, though, is that there are torches lit at the front entrance by 2 columns that lead up the stairs to the entrance to the temple proper, and they do burn with blue flames.
Yay.
And the other temples are all fairly normal as they were the last time you were here. You recognize the Everflame temple that Septimus was Botched Resurrection was at. You can see in the distance, maybe even just like catches your eye because you're curious about it, the Revelry temple. The only one that is the lights are not visible from it is the Spirit Temple at the end of the way that's in the mountains itself, or in the waterway. you don't really know much. It just doesn't look like the usual like warm glow is not coming from the cave entrance, nor are there torches lit at the standing braziers on either side of the entrance. Which is, surprising considering the Aradunai's presence here. But anyway, Septimus, your temple awaits.
Septimus, with a little smile on his face, seeing the flames, just goes in. Is it double doors?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, gets both hands on the doors and just swings.
All right, Aragorn.
All right, as you Aragorn these doors open, inside you can see there are other torches lit in here that are also blue. The whole room has a general cascade of blue to it, but then you'll notice that there are some regular flame torches lit, giving this very almost soothing, like light blue and orange hues that kind of work together, giving off like a strangely cozy vibe. There seems to be most of the orange light is coming from a dugout fire pit in the center of the room that just has a rather modest fire in it, and you can see there are several people huddled around that fire who look like they might be street urchins, poor who have no homes that maybe have been brought in by Hal. But you can see there are other people here though who are wearing very simple robes. As plain as could be, as if they're made of whatever modest material could be scraped together. Hoods over their heads. They all, for the rest of you, look like Septimus when you first met him, in the sense of just like the very modest peasant robe with the hood. But they all do turn their eyes to you immediately. Some of them who are tending to these seemingly sick poor in the center of the room. But they've basically kind of like built out a circular chamber in here, despite this having been a longer temple, by building out like a false wall of wood to create a private area where the old altar of the original temple is. And then, of course, there's the rooftop is repaired that leads up to the second floor where you all know the murder happened. The other thing you notice, Septimus, is that plant life is growing from between the cracks of the stones. There's actually quite a lot of plant life here, which is odd for the Machina temple, but this seems to come from the fact that this place was purified of the evil magic here. You already knew that this temple was grown with a lot of nature. Mm-hmm. They have cleared some of it away, but they seem to have left quite a lot of it. Fyrn, you notice as you step on a crack, one of these cracks, and the plant life on it immediately freezes and dies.
Do I see Hal in the room?
He's not in the immediate room. You figure he might be in the boarded off area. But you do notice a familiar little mechanical pet perched by the back board wall. Like there's a door that leads probably to that altar area, which is probably just where Hal has created private quarters for the followers. But there's a little perch there, and you can see a mechanical bird, the one that Hal built with your and sort of gave more life to with your help. Is perched there with the eyes now glowing blue that were once just mechanical eyes.
Yeah. Great to see. Come, I must be in the back, as Septimus will walk towards that secluded area.
Mm-hmm. There are whispers amongst the acolytes here that you can see. There aren't a lot of them, though. There's a handful. 4 that you can count as you're walking through. And you go up, and the bird's head immediately whirls and sort of like almost exorcist spins until it looks right at you. Cocks its head in confusion and then lets out a little bit of a chirp. It's not a lollyrock chirp, but an actual like simulacrum of a chirp. that has a
Oh.
little bit of like distortion
I
to
thought
it.
I was really hoping you were just gonna say it's like a Siri voice.
Hello, Septimus.
Sure.
It's good to see you. I will alert Hal that you are here. It doesn't say that, but that's basically what it does.
That's what he can understand robotic bird, and that's what he translated as.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I mean, he can cast Speak with Machines. But the door immediately opens as soon as the bird looks at you. You hear someone rush to the door and open it up, and you can see the burly form of Hal. But the big burly beard that he once had is completely shorn off, as well as all of the long hair he had. He's shorn his head bald, and seems to keep it that way. He's wearing the robes as well, but the most strange feature is that his eyes are blue now, and it seems as though the flesh around his eyes, as if coming from the light, is slowly mechanizing. But he swings the door open, and he's still like strong, like he seems to have recovered a lot of the muscle that he lost during his ether fiending when you were away. But he comes out and he immediately rushes up to you to like grab your shoulders.
Hal, it's good to see you again.
Oh.
You look so much better than when I last saw you.
Whispers blessings, and he puts an arm around your neck almost, and despite his ascetic path now, he's still joyful. He's still boisterous as he was before. As he grabs you, as you all look and see this guy's like computerized, and you're like, oh. And he says, oh, we have so much to talk about.
I see you've finally been touched. I told you, your faith will be rewarded.
I see things differently now.
And he smirks at you and says, come on inside. Your friends as well. You can stay here. We've got some cots, got some food. And he leads you into this back chamber. And his pet machina bird looks to the rest of you just sort of like expectantly.
Yes, okay, thank you. Weird fucking bird.
So it lets out a little distorted squawk at you.
Imagine Lollyrock looks at it and chirp chirp.
It's just the two of them going back and forth.
But when you enter into this space, it is it's turned into kind of like to be honest with you, like a hostel. There's like a bunch of beds in here, cots in here, where they allow people to stay the night who come here desperate, but also those who don't have other homes, who have given themselves to this church, stay here as well. It looks as though Hal has been staying here and not going back to his bar where he has his own quarters. You can almost imagine his bar is probably like locked up. Like he probably has just like left it there. Except maybe for meetings. But at the same time, you also remember his bar is really close to Piscator's Row in the Aradunai. But you can see the altar that was originally there is covered in burning candles that do have the blue light to them. As well as just sort of like gathered parts that they've just like coppered together to find or found themselves, and just their metal parts, similar to what you built the Reacher grabbers out of, and similar to what Lollyrock's built out of, everything like that. But he brings you over to an area right behind the altar, which is up on that kind of like steps up. You can see the stairway that leads to the second floor. But there's a small table there that has enough seats for everyone. As he sits down there, Sass is just kind of like wandering about the room, looking at the different candle lights, maybe playing around with the flames a little bit.
Fyrn is visibly uncomfortable in this space. Like he's still wearing the fake ice armor, but
Mhm.
like he's revealed his, now that he's like indoors and like walking around, he's revealed his like face. Like he basically the helmet, the ice helmet has disappeared. And he's just like scowling this whole time, and every time like he sees like a new mechanical device that he doesn't understand, he kind of just like, you know, scowls a little. He takes a second, stares at it, and then just keeps scowling.
Jacquette and Bruce, what do you guys do? I imagine Septimus, you're going right to the table with him.
Yes.
Yeah, Bruce is kind of just watching very carefully.
Jacquette joins Septimus at the table. He's like, yeah, shit's weird, but we also just literally dealt with
Yeah.
everything we just dealt with. This
Yeah.
is nothing.
This
This
is
is literally
walk in the park.
nothing to Jacquette. So he just like, yeah, he walks in, slips into a chair and throws his feet up on the table as he just looks to Septimus.
Hal, tell me everything of where it started. I must say, although I am happy to see the light in your eyes, I am
Literally.
surprised. How did this happen? Start from the beginning.
Oh, it's a lot of story for you, lad, on your first day back. I'll give you it all in time, but just to catch you up to this, as he smiles and gestures to his eyes. And it was shortly after you left, you'd given me the silver to invest in the temple. I came here. To be honest with you, Septimus, I looked at the silver you gave me, and I considered, well, let's just spend it on ether. But I came to the temple, and I threw myself on my knees. It was overgrown with vegetation, nothing like you described it as. No ominous force. Rain pouring from the rooftop hole. And I gave myself over to the whispers, the real whispers. I beseeched Machina for vision, like yours. And I felt a presence, a calling, the bellowing of a great horn in my spirit. Pain, righteous pain. As Machina took my eyes, and I had to learn to see again. It was difficult at first, but with faith, my flesh was turned to something greater.
You're beginning to return to Machina. That fracturing that you feel, the pain, well, that is the fracturing. All of us breaking away. But we're coming back.
And he kind of just grabs your shoulder with a smile and laughs and looks to the rest of you and says, we may look different and we may seek to ascend these forms, but it doesn't mean we don't eat and share bread with our guests. And he gets up and starts to go over to some of the stores and pulls out a jug of water, but also a jug of wine and some bread and some cheeses and some meats and dried meats, and brings them all out for you all to share in.
But with that vision and that faith, tenacity, as you speak of, Septimus, I wandered the streets, cloaked, afraid of the averted eyes. But in averting my own gaze from those who would judge us for our ascendants, I looked down and I saw those suffering, those whose forms were broken. And I invite them here to heal, to eat, to drink. And some leave the next day, get a job, come back a couple of days later, give a portion of their first wage as a donation. And some who stay, you may have seen some. It's small, but it is the first steps.
It's more than I could have ever imagined. As long as we give those with a purpose, or help those find their purpose, that is Machina's will.
And you can surmise with your high wisdom that he's essentially a level 1 cleric now.
Okay.
Wow.
He can cast Sacred Flame and the light spell. He can manipulate these candles to have the light of Machina. He can also cast healing spells, so he's been using those gifts to spread the word.
You should be happy to know that on my travels, the light of Machina has spread to other parts of Afdal. We made our way to Stonebreaker Landing. If you're not familiar with it, it's an accursed harbor. It's plagued by undeath and rot.
I've heard some of the stories of the North.
We sought out the source and dispatched of it. And in its place, a giant burning pyre of light blue flame sits upon a tower, emanating its glorious light. And the people that had died there, people who had lost their souls, lost their purpose, their way of life, took the form of constructs and began rebuilding.
You continue to impress, Septimus. A guiding star, you are.
But we have much more work to do. As an entity comes to shatter all that we've built. And we're going to need your help. That's why we're here. We need to get this city under control, unified, strengthened. Because there's a storm coming.
Yes. We will be ready under your leadership, Septimus. Well, I have some things to tend to. Some errands. You can rest here. Stay as long as you want. Perhaps even later in the week you can speak to whoever would be willing to listen.
I forgot
So
to ask, where's Sal in all of this?
Ooh, that's a good question. So I imagine as Sal walked in with you all, that even more so than Septimus's Aragorn entrance, the people who are here who have not seen Sal before, maybe heard about him, they are
Imagine we never took Sal off
the carriage.
He's just still just sitting in the
No,
cart.
he's still on the sled. And Fyrn's just dragging him around.
The people who are brave will inch closer and they'll reach their hands out to touch Sal. the people who are not as brave are would be staring at him. Once he enters into this back room with you, they don't intrude and follow in, but there's a very clear reverence immediately. And in that way of like Septimus is like started this cult, but like that's their real messiah. Like to them, like
Right.
Sal's the real deal. Well,
Yeah.
Septimus is just the first prophet.
I'd be happy to speak to those you have gathered.
We'll put
And
the
assure
word
them-
out.
Assure them of good things to come.
Tell us, your congregation or flock or whatever you call it, what type of values do you teach them? How do you keep a place like this going?
We teach the ascendancy of our forms. It is not a sin to be of flesh, but it is undoubtedly weaker. And we provide healing and care to those who are suffering the hands of their bodies. And when you do that, and few others are willing to do that without some oath, some offering, they don't forget it. And they will come back to support us. But we do not ask a fee.
And have you ever done this to a person who didn't tell you that they wanted it?
No. No. I invite them to the temple for healing. They're free to say no. Magic that I do,
He looks to his hands.
can't yet change their forms. As I am sure you all have experienced from Septimus, healing. But you are still flesh. So we are not forcing upon anybody these blessings.
This temple is meant to serve as a guiding hand, Fyrn. As much as I have forced my views upon you, is the amount that this would force on those in Hyvin. I've told you, and I'll espouse constantly of how the way things are and how I see them. But ultimately, it's up to each one of us to make a choice. We'll all be together soon. We'll all be converging to one single consciousness.
Forgive me if I don't trust you completely, Ironheart, when you say things like that. I just want to make sure that the people of... You're doing a service here for the people of Hyvin. You're not helping people for your own agendas. And I kind of look toward... I'm actually staring at Septimus when I say this, like not looking at the other people at the table.
We have no desire at this time to force anything upon anybody. Only to help.
Well, then you wouldn't mind if I excuse myself. I'll be in your lodgings. Where's my room?
You can. You all can. You may not be used to this,
And he gestures to like the hostel area around him.
so you all may take up stairs. This area I left left for Septimus as the shepherd of our flock, he says, kind of like, he doesn't say it like that's like what he seriously thinks they should call themselves, but just in reference to what you said.
Right. Yeah. And Fyrn will go up to like the hostel area, and there's like a minor illusion ice wall like around his bunk bed. And he hasn't eaten anything that was at the table as well.
Okay. I leave you all to rest. If you have other questions about Hyvin, since you've been gone, I'd be happy to speak about those things in the morning. But I must go for now.
Thank you, Hal. We have much to discuss ourselves, but just know we'll be coming and going potentially in the coming days, as we need.
Yes. And he smiles one more time and like looks at you twice, Septimus, as if like, am I seeing, despite his magic eyes, am I seeing the real thing in front of me, or is this another illusion? Am I gonna wake up in an ether haze in the basement of my house? And he steps away, and you guys are all left in private. There are no other acolytes or anything in here. No one comes in after he steps out. He does bow to Sal before leaving. And you can see Sal like literally does this. Like he just gives like a little salute, like not really knowing exactly the protocol here.
So, now what? I think last we discussed, we were deciding whether or not we should split up and cover each sector, district of the town. Try to hear some rumors, some more information.
Yeah, in the morrow, I think I'm gonna go to the academy.
Jacquet like kind of swings over, he was like leaning back and he swings and drums his hands on the table and goes, there's so much to do. I don't even know where to start.
Oh, we should first get some shut-eye.
Yeah, okay, that's fair. Maybe we wait. I mean, people saw us coming here. Yeah, that's right. We'll stay here. If anyone wants to talk to us, they can see the carriage out front. And yeah, we'll stay here, and then tomorrow we can deal with it. Hope Reardon remembers me.
So while you guys find your spaces in this in the hostel area or upstairs in the more private area, there's not really anything up there though. Like he didn't like set up a room for Septimus. There's, I'd say, like a single bed up there.
Jacquet goes up there, looks at the single bed, looks to Septimus, looks at the single bed, looks to Septimus. Dibs?
It's all yours.
No. This is your temple. I was just goofing. I will sleep up here, though. It's just something about... It smells a little down there. Is it just me? It smells a little, right?
I mean, can I just set up a tower outside?
They
You
did
can.
seem to be bunch of misfits and derelicts, but it's a start.
Well, you've got the coin now to really pump this place up. I'm thinking another 3,000 silver, maybe another 60 days or so, and you should be golden.
Is there anything specific anyone would like to do before we close out the night?
I think Bruce actually is going to set up a tower.
Okay.
Adjacent.
Oh, if he does, Jacquet's going out there, 100%.
Yeah, same.
He's like, oh, Bruce is setting up the tower. As he's like half got his bedroll out. I'm
What?
just gonna...
I'm coming too.
Bye.
That's fine because Septimus is probably just gonna tend to just different parts of the
Yeah.
temple. Actually,
Actually.
In doing so, yes, like flavor-wise, he's going to be kind of like, yeah, I'm sure Hal took care of it pretty nicely, but if there's any like chores that need to be done, Septimus will doing it and putting like some iconography or doing whatever he can to make it more in whatever he envisions.
Excellent. Go ahead. He's reading a spell.
I'm gonna put a big billboard on the front of the tower.
Are
It
you
says
really?
Iron and Mana.
Do you really?
No, I don't.
Okay.
Or it says Iron and Mana and then points towards the temple.
Okay. Wait, what did
Flashing
he
neon light.
do?
He didn't actually do it. It's a
Oh.
joke.
Before bed,
Mm.
Septimus will you cast Word of Recall on his new temple.
Very nice.
It's
very
designated
nice.
as a sanctuary.
I love to see it. Septimus, as you do this, you can explain to me what it kind of like looks like aesthetically. Next session, if you want to come up with some stuff.
Yes.
But similar to when Kieran did this in campaign 1 with the Talmud Hama that grew in his sanctuary, there are these strange little geometric shapes forming amongst the plants in this sanctuary. Where a flower might bloom from a long stalk of a plant, there's now a geometric shape that looks like let me make sure I get this word right. It looks like bismuth crystals.
Oh.
Yeah, and there's just seems to be this bismuth crystallized shapes that are forming in what would otherwise be like cubes on cubes on cubes on cubes, right angles on right angles on right angles. Fractal is a good way to put it. Yeah, wherever something organic would be that is more soft, begins to form these fractal and bismuth-like structures. Very slowly, it's very few right now, not noticeable at first, but give it a week and it'll be exactly how you imagine it.
Hell yeah.
His ideal thing is just gonna be a Minecraft tower.
But anyway, you all can find a place to rest, whether it's the tower or within the temple. And it's been, even though you haven't been on the northern roads in a few days now, you still were on the road. You're still kind of getting comfortable being back. You did have a fight today, which really wasn't that bad for you guys. But but you all go to sleep. The next morning, you would awake at your various rates. I'm sure some of you may sleep in a little bit.
Where was... Go ahead. Where was Sass sleeping?
Sass stayed in the temple. And Septimus, you would have even maybe noticed a discontentment in her face as you wandered the temple. She too was kind of wandering the temple, looking to the people, looking to the flames all around, staring into the fire pit in the middle. The most she's ever given off like poisonous barbs of like, don't speak with me. She's clearly in it. Which is why perhaps it is a surprise and doesn't come as a surprise when you awake in the morning, Septimus, to no sight of Saskia. Save for a package that is on the bed that you saw her go to bed in. It says 2 iron and mana on it.
He will. Wait. He's like, oh shit, hold on. He won't touch it.
Okay.
Thinking of that time that Jaquette got marked. Oh shit. Oh shit. He'll go into the temple. Or he'll leave the temple, go into the tower, and wake everybody up. Like, guys. Guys, the assassin here.
What?
The Saskia in here.
Saskia!
No, she's not.
Doesn't sound like it.
She could have brooded it off, but wherever she was sleeping last night, there's a package. And it's addressed to Iron and Mana.
Oh, boy. Okay. All right, be right there.
Is it in her handwriting?
Yes.
It's really sloppy, bad, looks like a child, usually spells at least 3 words out of 10 wrong.
It looked like it. I don't look at her. I don't see her handwriting that much. She doesn't write that often.
Fair. I guess I did
But,
have that one.
I'm just,
written.
I don't know. Maybe I'm just on edge because last time we encountered this, you got marked. I don't know.
Yeah,
We're back in time.
let's take a look. Bruce gets out of bed and goes to the temple. Pending other people.
Yeah, Fyrn follow.
Yeah.
You see the package lays there on the cot in what Jacques you can clearly identify as Sass's handwriting. Although it's all spelled correctly.
Looking at Septimus, can you detect?
Yeah, I was just about to detect good and evil.
Yeah, and I'm also going to see if I can perceive inside of it.
Yeah, Bruce, perceiving inside of it, you can see that it is an assortment of items. There's vials in there. It's actually a pretty large package. You can see that there's folded up leather armor in there. There's some blessed wort. There's some seashells. A lot of seashells, actually, weirdly enough.
It seems like a lot of her equipment, maybe.
Just Jacquet's gonna mage hand the letter and bring it to himself. It's okay. Let's see what this is about.
So you open it up, and in more of her handwriting is a message.
Okay, it says.
In your best Jaquette there, Sean.
No, I'm just gonna give it to you.
Oh.
Dearest Iron and Mana. Oh, she spelled it all right. Not quite sure where to start, but an apology seems right. For a couple of things. One, for taking that deal with Roe so quickly and not discussing it with you all first. You all are my friends and my family. And friends and family don't keep things from each other. I'll do better. 2, for this abrupt fucking off and shitty note as an explanation. I've been thinking a lot about where I come from, and there's a part of me that can't rest until I've got some answers. So I'm heading to Gwenvalir to find them. And I'll be back when I've got them. I leave you these treasures in my absence. They're not junk, so don't throw them away, Jacquette. We'll see, he says, looking past it at the package. You've all been so kind to me when I really didn't deserve it. I promised to spread the good word of Iron and Mana on my travels. And I sort of promise not to get shit-faced every night. Hoping to find some good taverns for dancing along the way. Sea Witch.
Wait, is Ro gonna allow that? Her to just
She couldn't be serious, can she? Septimus looks
I mean,
odd.
right? There's no taverns between here and Gwenvalor. She's gonna be on a ship. That girl, she never thinks
Yeah, and I
before
mean,
she
what-
says things.
What else is she gonna do on a ship but drink?
I guess it's a
Clearly,
tavern
this is
in
a
itself.
bad plan.
No, we were in this together.
I think we still are.
She hasn't been here with us for a few days now, if not longer. Whatever she's dealing with,
I think she's been lost for a lot longer than that.
True.
It's just getting harder for her to, keep it off her mind.
Should
I
I?
think this is good for her.
Should I message her?
If you do, I wouldn't expect a response.
And
All right, maybe I'll hold off then.
Yeah.
She
Maybe-
knows.
Maybe in a while, just to make sure she's safe. But for now, I think it's best to give her some space. She's free to do what she pleases. Let's just try and make this place better for when she returns.
Here, Fyrn.
Yeah.
In the package, you would find potion of greater healing, potion of necrotic resistance that she never used,
Ooh.
her share of the antitoxins Jacquette handed out, her share of the blessed wart unit, although this one is infused with the original patron's magic. And her extra set of leather armor, not her row armor. I don't think she can take that off. Those are the mechanical items. Oh, and she also leaves her pearl of power as a sort of a reminder, keepsake of who she is and what she's struggling with.
Oh, I was gonna say you could sell that.
And then a series of rocks, some broken sea glass you probably collected last night while writing this letter. And a unique seashell for each of you that she collected on the shore. The night
How will
prior.
we know which shell is for who?
I'm gonna say that you guys get to determine which shell is whose, and by that I mean you can come up with what your shell looks like. And what you think Sass would have picked for your character. But that is the last you'll see of Saskia for a long time. And I think that's where we'll end tonight.
Camera just zooms in as Jacquette's hand clenches the letter.
And with that, we wish you, Shannon, out there, good luck in your new adventures of motherhood. And we can't wait for you to come back and to see your exciting new baby.
Who will be your first follower.
Yes, correct. They will serve on your pirate ship when you return. That maybe you'll return
YOLO.
on. All right, folks, that's all for us tonight. We will see you in the world and beyond and in Aradun when we come back. But thank you for joining us. Have a lovely evening. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Good night.
night.